Athens at Sanford Stadium. 20th ranked Auburn getting set for the Georgia Bulldogs. Ray Goff, who has had one tough season in his 7th year. And of course, at the beginning of the year, it was handed down from athletic director Vince Dooley that this team had to make significant improvement. And that's tough to do when you've had as many injuries as Georgia has had this year. Terry Bowden, everything went completely smoothly for him through 2 seasons, and now a few bumps in the road, and still a brilliant 26-4-1 in his 3rd season at Auburn. But after going 20-0-1 in those first 21 games, he had set the sights of the Auburn fans pretty high, and that's some lofty goals to reach. You can't be undefeated every year. Auburn won the toss. They have deferred, and Auburn will kick off. The Dogs receiving. A late arriving crowd, not packed in here yet. Right now they're hoping that it ends up being packed because it is cold and windy, as windy as I've ever seen it at this stadium. In fact, they have taken all the pennants down that ring the circumference of the stadium. Normally they have SEC flags. Those are the only flags flying right now at Sanford Stadium, is the Georgia flag and Old Glory, because we've got 44 degrees, 20 to 30 mile-an-hour winds. We have a chance of rain. It rained a good part of the last 20 hours, but actually we have some sunshine right now. And Matt Hawkins has got it teed up. Set to go for the 99th time, the oldest rivalry in the Deep South. Kirby Smart from the goal line. Out across the 20 to the 21, and that's it. And that's where the Georgia offense will work for the first time today. And as they come out, the Dogs under the leadership of Hines Ward. Right there, and as Gary said, the best passing flanker in the country. Torrin Kurtzy back after some injury problems. Same with Selma Calloway. Juan Daniels, maybe the best player Georgia has right now. He leads them in touchdown catches with Bryce Hunter and Larry Brown. And up front, the middle 3 are all 5th-year seniors. Taylor, Weeks, and Beatles, Meadows, and Stark on the flanks. And Georgia with a first down. The Dogs from their own 21-yard line. Spinning out of the grasp is Torrin Kurtzy to pick up a couple, maybe 3. Charlie Rose made the tackle for the Auburn defense that looks like this. Up front, Jimmy Brumbaugh was planning on being redshirted this year, and now he's their leading tackler on the defensive front. Sutherland Smith in the 3-man group. The linebacking core, Marcellus Mastella, is really the finest player they have as far as making big plays. Spikes Harris and Solomon round out that foursome. And in the secondary, Larry Melton of Valdosta, Georgia. Charlie Rose, Houston, and McGee. There's some youth on the defense of Auburn that has hurt them this year. And Hines Ward comes up throwing. Incomplete. Out of all intended for Bryce Hunter.
And it was Houston on already the first rusher from the secondary coming in to hit Hines Ward on the play. You look at his numbers for the season. He started out with a disastrous game against Alabama. He has been improving, though. And I think that with the extra practice time he's had getting ready for this football game, I think you're going to see the most offense he's been able to run all year, and probably the most comfortable he's been at quarterback all year.
Georgia had a week off after being throttled by Florida in preparation for this game. Auburn thinking about a blitz. Ward from the shotgun. Has time. Lofts one out and just overshot a wide open Matt Dixon. Scott Stacy got some pressure on Ward, but it's 3 and out.
And he had Dixon wide open on that pass that time, too. And it is tough throwing conditions out here, though. Even for a trained quarterback with a lot of experience, it's going to be tough, and he's thrown into the wind this first quarter.
I wouldn't want to be punting in the wind either. Langley will.
I don't even like doing the game in the wind.
Robert Baker will back off. It's not a great punt by any stretch of the imagination. Goes 37 yards and rolls to a stop at the 39-yard line. So Auburn will have good field position from which to work as they start for the first time today, and they'll do so with Patrick Nix, their veteran quarterback. And joining Nix in the offense, Stephen Davis, as Gary said, about 6.5 a carry with Beasley and Nix. Willie Gaucher, their leading receiver, on his way to some Auburn single-season records, joining Baker and Fuller. And Willie Anderson's an all-Southeastern Conference tackle with Thomas, Robique, Taylor, and Riley. First down, Auburn, and the Tigers from their own 39-yard line. Davis, he didn't get much, about a yard. and Ferguson leading that group up front for the Georgia defense. Defensively, Jermaine Smith at a season-high 9 tackles in the last outing against Florida. Benton and Ferguson, who just made that stop, round out the front group. Whit Marshall leads this team in tackles with 102, with Tolbert, Daniels, and Bright. And in the secondary, Corey Johnson led the team in tackles last year and leads them in interceptions this season with Owens, Love, and Sims. Second down and a long 8 as Nix has a look at the forefront of Georgia. Makes the pitch, wants to throw back to his tight end, and it's almost intercepted, intended for Andy Fuller off his fingertips. And then Georgia got close to picking that ball off.
Patrick Nix, as you look at his statistics for this season, is not a real strong-armed quarterback, but obviously a very smart quarterback, moving the ball around, and he is going to run a lot of shotgun, 4-wide receiver pass offense, but a little different passing attack. Likes to throw the ball to the outside of the field, not over the middle as much as you see a lot of other quarterbacks who throw the ball a lot. Georgia
defenders getting the crowd into it as Auburn finds itself in a 3rd and long situation. 3rd down and 8. And they'll work from the shotgun. McLeod and Davis flanking Nix. 2 quick steps and down the middle he goes. He completes it, good for a first down. The forward progress is going to be to the Georgia 49 to Willie Gaucher, their leading receiver. That's his 53rd reception on the year.
Well, Gaucher just went down there just past the first down marker, turned around and stopped, and Nix put it right in there between the zone defense. Nix from the shotgun, very comfortable, and I think when you're not a great strong-arm quarterback, the shotgun formation helps you because you can get your body set up and you're throwing under balance a little more easy this time. You see the ball, he gets hit on just as he lets the ball go that time by Jason Ferguson, but very successful play, you know, and I think it'd be a mistake for Auburn to go away from the passing game just because it's a little bit windy out here. They got to do what they do best, and they throw the ball off as well.
They're going with it right now, at least to a certain degree. Davis cuts back, got a couple.
The other thing that if they went away from the passing game would hurt him is you're playing into the strength of the Georgia defense. I mean, they would like to have you line up all day with 2 wide outs, a tight end, and an I formation. That's what Joe Kynes feels most comfortable stopping, defensive coordinator for Georgia in his first year. And I think even the Georgia defensive front 7 feels like they can stop the Auburn running game. It's whether they can put pressure on Nix. That's the key to the football game.
Leader of the group, Whit Marshall. You look in from Brandon Tolbert's position. It's 2nd down and 8. Davis again. Kind of weaves his way inside the 45 down to the 43-yard line where Philip Daniels made the stop.
3-snap read that Patrick Nix is getting in this game is a 7-man front, but after he starts to call his signals, they can sneak up that 8th man into the box, and when you have a tight end and 2 backs, that 8th man is what makes it tough to run it against, and I think you're going to see both teams using that in this football game.
Georgia aware that they're going to have to force some turnovers today to have a chance in this game. 3rd down and 4 for Auburn. They'll work from the spread again. This time they keep it on the ground, and they got a big opening for McLeod, and he's down inside the 30. Corey Johnson may have saved a touchdown right there.
Kevin McLeod out of that 2-back set in the shotgun just got the draw that time. It was in that situation with yardage that time where they could go pass or run, and that's going to be tough on this Georgia defense. Terry Bowden probably as good as anyone at trying to conceive an offense that takes advantage of all of his players. And as we mentioned in the open, the toughest guy that Terry Bowden's had getting in his football team is Stephen Davis, because he's an I-back tailback, and it really doesn't do what Terry Bowden would like to do with the offense.
We'll talk more about that as we go. From the 30, a first down for the Tigers. And an end around coming. Robert Baker. Nice job by Daniels to spread it out, but Baker does a tremendous job on second effort to squirt his way down to the 25 where there's a flag on the play.
Well, Philip Daniels did a good assignment defense. He just didn't make the tackle, and there's 2 parts of it, and the second part wasn't very good that time.
Personal foul goes against Georgia.
Personal foul, the initial indication against Georgia.
Toss to the tailback to keep that flow early in the game. A lot of coordinators like to run the reverse early. There you see Daniels right there. And coming up from the secondary, the tackle is made, but there's the late hit right there on the ground, and that was a good call. Phil Daniels staying at home. Nix tries to get a block.
The very end of the play.
Run, and then right at the end of the play is when you get the piling on. That was a late hit and a very good call.
So not only a first down, but inside the 15 down to the 12. Beasley and Davis are the I-back set now. Georgia, did they jump off? Nix thought they did. And now he changes things up. Wheels wants to throw and pays the price. Arvin Love. Wow. And now a penalty marker down late.
They're going to get him for a celebrating.
Yep.
Absolutely. That's the rules. And Ray Goff threw his hat, and he was upset. You know, it's a tough call, and you have to admit it. I mean, this is a big game. Love and Tolbert are going to come from the outside. It's a blitz all the way. They get the quarterback, and then just a little bit.
If he didn't head the east end of the stadium, he would have been all right.
Well, that's what's going to be called. It's a tough one, but he just a little bit too much. It was honest enthusiasm, but enthusiasm that this year is just not allowed. I don't think it was taunting at all, but it was not with his teammates, and that was the key.
And Vince Dooley, one of the guys that put together the celebration rule, part of the Coaches Association.
Not the guy in the blue jacket,
nope.
Not the girl, not the red guy, the guy sitting there behind.
There he is, Coach Dooley with the glasses. And those folks obviously know that we're trying to spot Coach Dooley. Trust me, he's in that booth.
Well, and as powerful as he is, I would assume that he has those people walk right in front of him all the time when the camera comes on.
Second down, inside the 10 now. So a couple of key penalties on this drive. Davis, touchdown, Auburn.
What a big turnaround, and that personally is the first time I've seen that excessive celebration penalty be a factor in a game this year. A corner blitz, as Vince Dooley's upset. They had the call of excessive celebration. They run an isolation play right up the middle that time. Randall Godfrey, number 42, was not blocked at all, did not come up with the tackle, and Davis goes right into the end zone for the easy touchdown.
Extra point, up and good. With 9 minutes and 53 seconds remaining, first quarter. Davis for the score for Auburn.
The legendary Nürburgring. It sounds crazy, but they let anyone drive on this world-famous racetrack for just a few Deutschmarks. It was here that Porsche engineers tested our new 911 Turbo. Lap after lap of the new 400-horsepower engine, the twin turbos, the liquid all-wheel drive. What did we learn? Well, don't send a German engineer here with an ATM card.
All right, gentlemen, tomorrow, your butts are mine. Lights up.
Man, I'm hungry. Russell Athletic Wear is made to handle the toughest situations on and off the field.
Hot dog, French fries, hamburger, tacos grande, pizza. Coach, going somewhere, ladies. Hard work, dedication, commitment.
Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Get up there, large butt. Go.
Well, the Auburn fans that made the drive over to Athens happy with Stephen Davis' touchdown from 8 yards with 9:53 left. Capped a 61-yard drive. And Davis on the year, that's his 13th touchdown.
Really,
9 plays, 61 yards.
Really interesting talking to Terry Bowden now. He said he was very confused early in the year, you know, Heisman candidate, how he should use him. It might even have cost him a game against LSU early in the year when he stuck with the I formation a bit too long. But, you know, may get him a game late in the year when he's got an I formation tailback still able to run like that.
You know, on that 61-yard drive, 40 by the Auburn offense, 21 by the Georgia penalties.
Yeah, that was a huge one because they're going to be backed up on second down after that sack, and very tough to pick up goal to goal after a sack from the 20-yard line.
Jenkins set to kick. McCraney and Smart are back deep. Kirby Smart again from the goal line for Georgia. Found himself a little avenue on the right side and got out near the 24-yard line before he's buried by the Auburn specialty teams. And for the first time today, let's check in with our partner Mike Tirico. Mike.
Okay, Brad, in the Big 8, Nebraska leads Kansas 14-3 in the third quarter. Also in the conference today, Colorado, John Hessler, the quarterback, throws 2 touchdowns, runs here from 36 yards out. Colorado wins 21-0 over Missouri. They're in third in the conference. And Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma. Oklahoma must win at Nebraska to go to a bowl. Brad.
All right, Mike here, 7-0. Auburn and Georgia starting from its own 25. The toss to Torrin Kirksey. Kirksey trying to get to the corner, did. Dragged down from behind by Martavius Houston after a 5-yard pickup. ESPN's presentation of Saturday night CFA is brought to you by McDonald's. Have you had your break today? And by Porsche. There's no substitute. Second down and 4. A short 5, we'll call it, just across the 30-yard line. Kirksey trying to go the other way. Back to the line of scrimmage where he's hit by Mostella. Maybe got a yard out of it. It'll bring up a third down along 3 coming.
Torrin Kirksey is a true freshman. He missed a few games. One of the 5 or 6 different tailbacks they've used back in this football team for a very, injury-plagued season for the Georgia football team. Kirksey just a true freshman, and they list him at 180. I think he goes about 165, 170. He's lucky.
Another third down for the Dogs. Kirksey and Callaway behind Ward. Ward's a tremendous scrambler if he gets in trouble, but he's got to take the ball with him. And he's going to go down for a loss. And not only is Hines Ward the third quarterback, he's playing with a broken bone in his thumb. And that may have been part of the problem. He has a trouble with direct snaps from center.
He really does. It's in his right navicular bone. And if the snap hits him a little bit off, just off center, he says he gets pain and he could drop the ball very easily. That time you saw, again, this is a guy that was a wide receiver, their number 3 receiver when the season started, playing quarterback in SEC football. Kind of tough.
Langley puts one up. It looked like a good punt on takeoff, but the wind just made it die at about the 48-yard line. A 22-yard kick is all, with 7 minutes, 49 seconds remaining, and Auburn by a touchdown.
Our German engineers could have road tested the new Porsche 911 Carrera 4 back home in Germany. They could have taken the 270 horsepower engine out on the Autobahn again, or driven the Black Forest with the all-wheel drive and radical suspension. They could have done all that back home. But then, they wouldn't have gotten all this neat stuff.
My, what big ears you have.
All the better to hear you with, my dear.
And what big eyes you have.
The better to see you with, my dear. Real red, real smooth. Red Wolf.
My, what big teeth you have. What are they for? Oh, my.
Follow your instincts.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
The Alabama Crimson Tide roll into Auburn to tackle the Tigers at 5:30. Then the Air Force Falcons play host to Notre Dame at 8:30. Next Saturday on ESPN.
A cold day in Athens, Georgia. And a cold start for the Bulldogs, trailing by 7 with 7:49 left. And after a short punt, Auburn takes over offensively from its own 49. The toss to Davis. Cuts back, flags go down. And let's see if we have holding in the middle of the pile. Davis maybe got a yard. And again, a penalty marker down in the heap. Bill Goss, our referee today, and he will tell us holding Auburn. ESPN's presentation of Saturday night CFAs brought to you by McDonald's. Have you had your break today? And by Porsche. There's no substitute.
On the offense, penalty is 10 yards.
Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Adrian Karsten between the hedges. Between the original hedges for the final time today. As they will bid adieu after this one. And some brand new hedges will go in after the '96 Summer Olympics. Soccer is going to be played here, so that's one of the reasons the hedges, the original hedges, will be coming out.
And I understand they're even going to have to take out part of the stands to fit in the end lines or end zones, whatever they are. I know there's a goal net involved there somewhere, right?
First and 20 after the penalty. Toss and a loss. Great play defensively by Greg Bright. Let's check in with Adrian Karsten. What do you got, Ade?
Brad, thanks very much. A reminder for you that, yeah, you mentioned that Vince Dooley did publicly call for, quote, significant improvement from Ray Goff and his Bulldogs this year. All right, so they come into this game 5-4. Because of that record now, there is speculation as to whether or not Ray Goff will even be here next year. Well, whether or not he is, consider this. The fans have not booed him this year. Last season, he got over 1,000 pieces of hate mail. This year, hardly a one. The point is that the fans here tonight and all season long really appreciate what he has done, what he has, or rather what he has left as far as personnel is concerned.
Pass out complete. Gaucher makes a tough bobble and catch and then gets what he can. He's going to be short of the first down. Sims made the stop. There's Ray Goff. And, you know, trying to win and maybe save your job and get to a bowl game and all of that with all the injuries he's had is like trying to win the Atlanta 500 tomorrow with a 66 station wagon, you know?
Not done. You're doing as well as you can. Here you look at the troubles they've had. 6 different starters at tailback, fullback, 4 different ones. And then I really think the key, you know, when you go into a season, you know, you got a couple quarterbacks. And remember, they had a problem coming into the season just wondering whether they could replace Eric Zier to begin with. And then they got to go with a wide receiver. They've done, you know, exceptionally well considering.
And Mike Bobo had a tremendous impact at quarterback until he was hurt. You just saw him on the sideline. Third down and short. Knicks in trouble.
Well, I think they took a delay of game. I'm wondering if the clock ran out that time.
Jason Ferguson was storming in on Nix. Nix sidestepped him.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
So third down still coming up.
Terry Bowden, I think, would like to be a pass offense coach. He looks around and sees what Florida did, what his dad is doing down in Florida State. And I think he feels that to recruit the great athletes in the South now, and even, you know, with South Carolina and Tennessee doing what they do, he feels that he's going to have to attract not only, he says, good offensive players, but good defensive players by throwing the ball.
Nix, no doubt, will have to throw on 3rd and 18. Here comes a Georgia blitz. They don't throw, they run. And Davis got back across the original line of scrimmage, but he's still 8 or 9 yards short of a first down as we check in with Mike Tirico.
Brad, Eddie George of Ohio State is on his way to a school record-setting performance for a rusher. He has 28 carries for 261 yards, including the 64-yard touchdown in the third quarter. Buckeyes big over the Illini.
Oh, boy.
That's really what makes Ohio State so tough. They've got the combination of that great running game and an explosive passing game playing cold weather.
Hawkins punt. McCraney will field it. Maybe should have let it go. Let's see what he does with it. Lost it. Fumble. Auburn's got it.
I don't know if he should have let it go, but I know he should have held on to it after he caught it. That's for sure. And that's really what Ray Goff said. The one thing we can't do is give Auburn the short field with a turnover. So far with the penalty and now this drop play on the punt, Georgia's going to give Auburn the ball here on the 13-yard line. And I don't know, you know, you don't have enough offense, and now you give your defense problems. That's the big play so far in this game, as Fred Beasley, the fullback, did a nice job of knocking that ball loose.
And McLeod recovered it at the 14-yard line. Those are the kind of plays that Georgia needs, not Auburn, with how things have gone for them this year. So here's a opportunity for the Tigers from the Georgia 14. And here's a quick opener. to Fred Beasley, and Beasley just flies down to the 6.
They might as well give Beasley the ball. He's the guy that caused the fumble on the play.
And the adrenaline's still pumping. He got in that hole in a hurry. They spot it right at the 7-yard line.
So Fred Beasley is a guy who could really play tailback and move to fullback. You can see 205 pounds. You can tell that type of 205-pound player, when he's playing fullback, that means he's a good runner. He was a tailback and the #2 leading rusher on this football team. Not a guy that's just going to block all day.
He stays up there as the up man in the aisle with Davis the tail on a 2nd down. Here's Davis this time. 5. Georgia does a nice job of closing in on him. Randall Godfrey, the linebacker, got there, and there's the man that had a little trouble with the punt return.
Man, those are the ones when you don't even want to watch. You just kind of stare up in the air and say, come on, guys, let's give me something good happening here.
I need a little help.
Very pressure-packed team to play on, I would say, with this Georgia team, with that cloud hanging over your coach all year.
Yep.
That's tough.
3rd down in the yard. First man is Beasley. He's got the first down, not the touchdown, as he got down near the 2-yard line. Whit Marshall got a tackle.
A little different. You know, Damian Craig is the backup quarterback. He's the guy that plays in this situation. He can roll out a little bit better than Patrick Nix. Doesn't run a lot of option, but he gives him that rollout threat. He's going to be a great football player in the future. And inside, as you look at his statistics, inside the 10-yard line in this goal line offense for Auburn and Terry Bowden, they've been 11 for 11, all touchdowns.
And he sets up shot, 1st and goal, just outside the 2-yard line. Toss to Davis, and he'll go in untouched for the Tigers touchdown. His 2nd of the day. And this one was easy.
Little pitch. Usually when you see that pitch to the outside, you feel it's going to be an outside running play, but the Auburn changeup is a short pitch running off tackle. And Jason Taylor, the guard, did a nice job getting the kick out and block that time.
Matt Hawkins in for the point after. Snap it's up and off the upright. The snap was a little bit wide, and Northcutt did a nice job just to get it down, and the kick is no good. So maybe that's one small break for Georgia, but the McCraney fumble leads to an Auburn touchdown.
I traveled halfway across town for a rally burger. Let's put it that way.
The burger's always that thick, and when you pick it up, you got to squeeze it down.
This is better than any burger I've ever ate.
It's good,
Yeah.
that's all.
You feel as though you're eating quality A1 meat.
You feel how cold the lettuce is, how cold the tomatoes are. That's fresh.
Yeah, you can see your mom back there in the kitchen putting this together for you.
Rally Burger, now only 79 cents.
Sometime I eat one and get halfway across town. Then I say, where's the next rallies?
I'm Chip Ellis. My guarantee to you is that there are absolutely no credit turndowns at Chip Ellis Motor Company. You'll like the way we do business. Why? Because we finance. I am the bank. I'll finance you with my own money. I do not depend on banks or credit companies to decide on whether you can buy or not. I find a way to say yes to everybody, regardless of past credit problems. You can buy today at Chip Ellis Motor Company, and I guarantee it. So come by and see us at 2233 East South Boulevard.
Season in the NBA. More big-time slams and jams by the league's big men. Exclusive stories on Shaq, Michael, Patrick, Hakeem, and David. Who's bigger, better, weirder? The hot stuff on teams, players, coaches, and who's got the jump on 96. It's the NBA preview that gives you the big picture as only ESPN can. In-depth, up-to-date. The ESPN Pro Basketball NBA Preview Magazine. It's big, and it's on newsstands November 14th.
War Eagle 13, Bulldogs nothing, and a gift basically after McCraney fumbled the punt. Auburn only had to go 14 yards for another Stephen Davis touchdown. A kick, Kirby Smart will field again at the 1-yard line. And out to the 25, met there. So Georgia not getting any breaks on their field position either. Well, coming up after this game, we'll have game 2 of our prime doubleheader. Danny Werfel and the Gators will air it out against Steve Tannehill and the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Then we'll wrap up the day with a Residence Inn scoreboard show. That's all yet to come on ESPN. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Adrian Karsten between the hedges in Athens, where the Dogs are down 2 touchdowns already and have only 8 yards to show for their 6 plays. Ward fakes a pitch, and he'll roll and throw on the run. And he throws a shot out to the 40, complete for a first down. So his first completion of the day is good for 14 to Juan Daniels.
Well, Hines Ward, you know, and it a little bit tough to recruit a quarterback at a major college when you got a guy like Eric Zier being there. As we look at a very creative way to get yourself on TV. But Hines Ward, I think, you know, he was a #1 recruit, all-state quarterback coming out of Georgia, and he just did not project to be a quarterback at Georgia, and now he feels good about it. He says, I like it playing quarterback again. You know, I get to touch the ball every play, and I get to be involved in the offense, and I think that's what's really amazing right there, you know, what he's done in his career.
Who else has done that this year?
That's what I said, best throwing quarterback in the country who's got all those other stats.
That's right. The all-purpose guy. All-stater. Rex, Georgia, Forest Park. Auburn thinks about a blitz on first down as Kirksey gets the handoff. Kirksey up the middle. And he takes some Auburn Tigers with him. Picked up about 7. Anthony Harris and Martavius Houston will make the stop.
Probably the most experienced and best part of this Georgia football team is their offensive line. David Weeks, their center, and Paul Taylor, both seniors, played a lot of football games together, very experienced, and that's what Georgia has to depend upon in this game. Problem is Wayne Hall, defensive coordinator for Auburn, he knows that too. He's going to put 8 and 9 men near the line of scrimmage. Both safeties are going to be up there like they are this time.
Second down, along to Ward, fires. Daniels makes a tough catch. Got up on his tiptoes and picks up the first down at the 45. And we'll pick up another report from Mike Tirico. Mike?
Well, Brad, Tommy Frazier doesn't have the receiving yards of Hines Ward, but he has the rushing yards and the passing stats. 2 touchdowns today, 1 rushing, and this throw to Sheldon Jackson, Nebraska by 18.
All right, Mike, thank you. It's 14-0 here. Auburn in front. Georgia finally put together a little bit of a drive, though, down to the Auburn 45-yard line. Ward going to throw long down the left sideline, lofts it out, incomplete, intended for Bryce Hunter. Well, laid it out there pretty good, but nice coverage by Larry Melton.
Well, and it's exactly what it was. He had man-to-man coverage all the way last time, and he just stayed with the ball. They do not fear the passing game. A lot of man-to-man coverage so far in this football game. Del McGee and Larry Melton, the 2 corners, are going to earn their scholarships today. See how you adjust? You usually say earn your paychecks, but you got to roll.
You got to roll with it, exactly.
You got to find a way.
Second down at 10. Georgia just trying to find a way. Hines Ward, a brilliant performance in the 52-17 lopsided loss to Florida. He was the one bright spot, as a matter of fact. Maybe a couple for Larry Bowie. He hasn't been out on the field for a long time either. He was injured against Alabama earlier in the year. Let's check in with Adrian.
One of the big concerns for Hines Ward and Ray Goff was going to be a wet ball tonight. Not that much of a concern because the turf is dry, but it's cold and it's blowing down here. Hines is complaining on the sidelines that because it's getting colder, the ball is getting harder and slicker, harder to hold on to. He likes to put 3 fingers on the laces and use that pointing finger to guide the ball, but he says he can't really get a very good grip on it.
That's the grip that Gary talked about.
That grip is exactly the grip I use. One finger, the ring finger on your right hand, is the only one that touches the lace.
The only problem is your fingers are about 3 inches longer than Hines Ward.
More the ball.
He fires this one down, and it is caught. Dixon. And if it had let him a little bit more, he might have been gone. But he got 18, and they'll take it.
You can see Wayne Hall. He's concerned about stopping the running game, so he's bringing those safeties up. This time Dixon comes inside and beats him on the slant. That's the easiest throw to make when you're a quarterback that isn't confident. When they blitz you, there's nobody out there to read. This time Dixon's coming from the right side of your screen. The ball's slightly behind. Turns around and makes a nice bobbling catch.
Well, that was a nice second effort by Dixon, as you said, to hold on to that thing. Ward 3 out of 6 for 39 yards now. Putting a little bit of an air game together, and now a fumble covered by Larry Bowie. And as we said, he has not played for Ray Goff much since being injured against Alabama. He, as a matter of fact, did it on a touchdown run that was negated by penalty. But they get him back for the first time in quite a while, and he looks a little rusty.
Exactly. That was a nice pitch. And, you know, Larry Bowie, that's a type of play, those unforced errors, those self-inflicted wounds that this Georgia team, especially on offense, just can't live with. They do not have enough firepower.
First quarter comes to a close. It belonged to Auburn, but the Dogs on the march. Into one. Auburn 13, Georgia nothing.
State Farm presents the rules of the game.
We're talking about pass completions. In this play, has the receiver made a legal catch?
You worry? You're overprotective? You're a parent. Isn't it nice to know that there's something almost effortless you can do to protect your family even more? Just ask your State Farm agent for a free family insurance checkup. It's a smart way for you to decide if your family's insurance coverage is up to date. So they'll be better protected. And maybe you'll worry a little less.
We're talking about completions. In this play, we have an incompleted pass. For a catch to be ruled good, a player must come down with at least 1 foot in bounds.
Rules of the Game has been brought to you by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The legendary Nürburgring. It sounds crazy, but they let anyone drive on this world-famous racetrack for just a few Deutschmarks. It was here that Porsche engineers tested our new 911 Turbo. Lap after lap of the new 400-horsepower engine, the twin turbos, the liquid all-wheel drive. What did we learn? Well, don't send a German engineer here with an ATM card.
3 out of 4 new car radiators are made of aluminum, lightweight aluminum, as thin as the top of this can. This year, over 400,000 aluminum radiators will pit, corrode, and fail. Protect your car in the Prestone Zone. Prestone antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming the Prestone Zone of dual protection against corrosion and temperature extremes. Don't put your car at risk. Protect it in the Prestone Zone.
I got it.
Coors Light, the silver bullet. It's shipped cold to tap the clean taste of the Rockies. Tap the Rockies!
Second quarter set to begin in Athens with Auburn leading Georgia 13-0 on a couple of Stephen Davis touchdown runs. But Georgia's put together a good-looking drive here to move it to the 27. Hines Ward lofts it. Daniels makes a catch. Ball comes out. They blew it dead as he made the catch for a pickup of 4 or 5.
Jason Miska that time was the man on coverage coming across. Started the season as the starter, but Takeo Spikes has been playing a little bit more. Will play Takeo. Miska is a walk-on and a senior, and it's tough to put those guys on the bench, but came up with a big play right there in that passing situation. Still a lot of man-to-man coverage outside. They're challenging Georgia to try to throw against the corners.
Daniels, Wayne McDuffie, the offensive coordinator for Georgia, says he's our best player right now. He's got 3 catches already today. Third down, they're going to have to earn it. A long 9 to go from the gun. Ward, with time, goes to the end zone. Flag down at the 20-yard line.
That was a very poor throw, and again, the 2 corners are on an island. They're playing a lot of combination coverages, double teaming the slot back and the running backs, because that's where they think Hines Ward is going to throw the ball. He needs to throw the ball to the wide receivers. Del McGee had man-on-man coverage. No help that time.
I think there's an illegal man downfield for Georgia. That might be the call.
Well, you're allowed to do that. You have a wide receiver playing quarterback. You can have an extra receiver.
Spot you a stroke or 2 each hole, right?
It's a handicap.
Receiver downfield on a pass play. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Well, the referee pointed at Auburn. Obviously, it's against Georgia. And it's 4th down. So the Dogs are going to bring out Cannon Parkman to try to get some points on the board. And he's 11 of 15 on the season. You see his long. He'll try a 41-yarder here. Brian Sanderson to hold. Cannon Parkman, kick. Nope. Didn't have a chance.
I thought it was tipped that time, but I don't see anybody.
Well, Houston says he got a piece of it, but I don't know.
I thought it looked like it deflected off that too, but it was as you can see, a very poor and low kick. But Parkman looks like a good snap and hold. It looked like he slipped just a bit. Parkman,
yeah, he goes all the way down.
Yeah, he knew right away.
Yeah,
that ball did not have any chance of going, but apparently it was not blocked at all. So again, you know, they moved the ball that time, 46 yards on that drive, but no points.
Straight up the middle, McLeod, and he's got 10 before Georgia can drag him down. Whit Marshall and Corey Johnson in on the stop. Coming up tomorrow, it's the last race of the NASCAR Winston Cup season. Gary feels bad about this because he is big into NASCAR.
I wanted to go.
It's the Napa 500. Stick around. It's Atlanta Motor Speedway. You can watch it. Dale Earnhardt second behind Jeff Gordon in the point standings. If Jeff finishes anywhere in the top 40, he wins the title. 12:40 Eastern from Atlanta Motor Speedway tomorrow. Just down the road a piece here in Georgia. Mac McWhorter on the sideline talking things over with his group. Meanwhile, on the field, first down Auburn with a 13-point lead, and Stephen Davis on the run. Across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Greg Bright and Corey Johnson combine on the hit.
A lot of people spoke about Stephen Davis in the preseason as a Heisman candidate. He runs with such great body lean. You can see his size, and you know, at 230 pounds, 6'3", he has the perfect size. Sometimes, though, as a tailback, you can be a bit too big, and he gets a lot of shots. And I think that's what a lot of the pro scouts are wondering. Not only can he be a great runner, but can he do the other things that a tailback's going to be required to do at the next level?
Just inside the 41, 2nd and 4. Corner blitz coming. Davis gets the pitch. He's going to be short of the first down as Corey Johnson and Whit Marshall combine on the stop. Let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike?
Brad, because of the shoulder injury, Terry Glenn has not played. Eddie George has carried the load here on this run, breaking Keith Byers' school record, 288 yards and a couple of touchdowns. The Buckeyes lead by 28.
Boy, how do you spell Heisman, maybe, huh?
And remember, against Iowa, he didn't even play the whole second half. He could have had another 120 yards in that game. I like to keep pointing that out to John, you know. And it looks like he made the right move.
3rd down and 2, Auburn. Nix from the shotgun. But he'll keep it on the ground to McLeod. Not this time. Georgia's defense closes in at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to stop him short. Brandon Tolbert, one of the first guys there.
It's a bit strange to me. You know, they're so successful with Damian Craig in that goal line offense. Now 3rd and 2. Georgia loaded up for the run. They did not believe this was a pass. You can see they played an 8-man front that time. Brandon Tolbert coming in that time. You know, why not put Damian Craig in and run that goal line pitch instead of a shotgun run?
Use it in the middle of the field sometimes, huh? Yep. Hawkins to kick. Remember, McCraney dropped the last one. Hangs it up high in the air. McCraney, fair catch taken at the 24-yard line. And that's where Georgia will go to work, trailing by 13 when we come back.
Today, President Dion picks the primetime NFL Dream Team.
At corner, me, Dion.
It's up for grabs, and Dion picks it up.
At quarterback,
Dion throwing deep to Irvin.
at wideout, Dion.
He's got Dion wide open, and he's dropped it.
Dion has decided to allow someone else to play wideout. Football according to Dion. Primetime NFL. Sports.
We stood side by side with Mike Boren when he laid 90,000 feet of sod. We carried the team's equipment when Mike Jr. pitched his first game. Then we chauffeured the whole family off to Angelo's to celebrate. GMC Sierra, with standard four-wheel ABS and the same steel ladder frame built into our commercial trucks, it's a truck built for the way you live. Sierra is built for life. See the full line of GMC trucks at your GMC truck dealer.
Wrangler jeans. Available in the 2 colors boys prefer most. Black and blue. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans. Pine Lake. 3 friends. 3 pair of Wrangler jeans. Everybody's comfortable. Even the fish.
jeans.
It's the final day for the original Hedges, and somebody's already got a piece in their hat. Wayne McDuffie, Georgia's offensive coordinator, looking on. His team with a first down from the 24-yard line. Trailing 13-0. Toward Kurtzy. Kurtzy, nice run. Got out to the 30. Miska and Mark Smith make the hit. ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night CFA brought to you by Sega, makers of Genesis, Color Games gear, Sega CD, and the fastest, coolest video games ever. And by GMC Trucks, the strength of experience.
You're supposed to go Sega.
Well, it's cold enough that I almost did that without trying. Not a nice balmy day in Georgia, folks.
You told me it was going to be nice when I came down.
2nd and 3. Kurtzy on a pitch. He's going to get blasted in the backfield. Nate Smith came flying in there. Andre Miller did as well.
We pointed out Wayne McDuffie. Of course, he had Eric Zier at quarterback last year. What a change. You go from Eric Zier, who's a starter in the NFL, to a wide receiver. And you pointed out before, Mike Bobo had done such a nice job early in the year. They thought they had found a guy. And when we talked to McDuffie, he said, you know, the trouble with a quarterback nobody believes that can throw the ball downfield is you don't get the easy throws that other quarterbacks get that they know can throw the ball.
They will give you nothing as far as a gift. 3rd down and 7 from the spread. Ward looks left and now takes off. This is what he does well. Hines Ward out to the 43-yard line. On the scramble, he got 16 and a first down, Georgia.
And the point that Hines Ward has to do when he's running the ball is, remember, they don't have a lot of depth at quarterback. So Hines Ward has to think now, okay, I got to throw the ball. Nothing there, I'm going to scramble. But now while I'm scrambling, I remember Coach Goff telling me, hey, Hines, we got nobody else. Get down.
Get down,
and
exactly.
He does. And it's hard to be a competitor playing in a new position and then worried about not getting hurt.
A lot to think about. From the 44, first down, Georgia. Ward out into the flat to Kurtzy. And Torrin Kurtzy's going to be close. In fact, has another first down, and he got whacked out of bounds on the Auburn side of the field. Well, that wasn't the easiest throw in the world, but Hines Ward got it out there, and Kurtzy made it good for a first down. The Georgia quarterback situation's been atrocious this year.
And as you look what's behind him right now, Doug Huff is a sophomore walk-on. He's going to be the emergency guy if Hines Ward goes down for a couple plays. John England is redshirted. They'd rather not use him. And even Hines Ward said, that's a little pressure right there. I don't want, him to lose his whole season because of me. So kid's under a lot of pressure.
First down at the Auburn 45, and a blitz. It's picked up, and Ward floats it out. Got it complete to Larry Bowie. And Bowie on the run down the sideline for Georgia. All the way to the 12.
Really surprised by the blitzing package from Auburn on this play. That makes it easy for Hines Ward. From the outside, the left side, Auburn's coming from the all-out blitz. Nobody covers the fullback, and as he tosses it out, Bowie does a nice job of turning around Del McGee that time a couple times. A big play for an offense that's struggling, and big plays happen against the blitz. And Hines Ward was just precious on this one afterwards. Jumping up and down. He just feels so good about himself. It's fun playing quarterback again.
Well, he's starting to warm up statistically, too. And from the gun again on first down. Fires wide. Juan Daniels. Touchdown, Georgia. Now he feels even better.
I'm sure that Hines Ward is even going to love it a little bit more when he finds out that Del McGee, the corner that time, slipped and fell on the play. Shotgun. Auburn comes for a blitz the second time in a row. There you see McGee trying to crawl and get off the line, off the field that time, and Charlie Roars cannot make the tackle. Georgia puts someone on the board.
Cannon Parkman adds the point after. The Dogs are right back in it thanks to Hines Ward's touchdown pass. 13-7 Tigers.
Can McDonald's Chicken McNuggets make you feel like a kid again? Can they bring you closer together? Can they give you a thrill? Can they be just the break you've been waiting for? Of course they can. Can they make you see double? As a matter of fact, yes. With McDonald's 2 for $2. 2 tempting 6-piece Chicken McNuggets or 2 McChicken sandwiches for just $2. So, can they give 2 empty, unfulfilled hands something very entertaining to do? Absolutely.
Have you had your break today?
The new Jimmy has all the strength of a GMC truck, including 50 advances in sound isolation. So it's easy to keep the outside world outside. The all-new Jimmy. Hear all about it at your GMC truck dealer.
Now that you've given her away, you'll always cherish the memories. You'll always remember the joy. And you'll never forget the bill.
$220 for parsley?
But hey, isn't that why you got Visa Gold in the first place? With all the purchase power to handle any occasion. Even the most precious. Visa Gold, it's everywhere you want to be.
The Alabama Crimson Tide roll into Auburn to tackle the Tigers at 5:30. Then the Air Force Falcons play host to Notre Dame at 8:30. Next Saturday on ESPN.
13-7, 9:08 to go in the half. Parkman set to kick. Taken by Robert Baker, a yard deep. Baker only to about the 23 before Georgia gets down there to make the hit. Well, Hines Ward looked good on that last drive, Gary.
Yeah, one more look, and what you're going to see here is inside the slot, number 25, Houston is blitzing. And then on the outside, you see one-on-one coverage between Daniels and McGee. McGee slips. Juan Daniels goes into the end zone, and that's pretty easy. You know, that drive, really nice drive, 76 yards, but what a nice job Hines did on that, Howard did on that drive. 3 for 3 for 56 yards passing. He's moving the football team.
Also had that 16-yard scramble that kept the drive alive. First down, Auburn from its own 24. Nix off play action. Got some pressure. Rifled it. Oh, what a nice catch by the tight end. Andy Fuller somehow held on to that thing. Short of the first down, but it's going to bring up second and short. And right now, let's check in with Mike Tirico.
This McDonald's breakaway takes us from the hedges to the horseshoe. And guys, Eddie George is racking up some serious stats as a receiver as well. 13-yard touchdown catch, 317 total yards, 3 touchdowns, Buckeyes by 35.
Good for Eddie.
Beat a pretty good guy there, Kevin Hardy, too.
That's right.
on that play. Kevin Hardy's probably the best cover linebacker in college football.
On a second and short. And a first down run for Fred Beasley. Bounced off the first tackler and across the 35 to the 36. And they'll move the sticks with 8:47 remaining in the first half. 13-7, the Tigers in front.
Got to get a kick. Everybody down here before the game saying that if Georgia, wins big today, they're going to pass Ohio State. I think Ohio State's thinking the same thing. They're going to win big, not let anybody pass them in that standing.
You mean if Florida.
You got it. Florida wins.
You said if Georgia wins big. Georgia would love to win big.
It'd have to be real big, wouldn't it?
It'd have to be about a 200-point game. Nix play fake. He's got a man out there deep. Incomplete. Getting tangled up a little bit was Love with the big tight end. And there's a few boo birds out that are Auburn fans, and Patrick Nix is saying, hey, man, he tripped my receiver.
And Patrick Nix that time was 25 yards downfield arguing, but this ball was not catchable, and I think that's why it was called. But it was definitely hit by Armin Love, number 9 that time. Got the hit, and it could have been called interference. But it's funny, Nix just ran 25 yards downfield to make a call there.
And it didn't do him any good. So now he'll slowly walk up to the line of scrimmage with a 2nd and 10. School record against Arkansas in a losing effort. Tremendous second half in that game for Auburn. Loose ball. And did Georgia get on top of it? I think so. And it might have been Love. Georgia football. Jason Ferguson comes off the bottom of the pile.
It just sat there for about 3 good seconds before anybody knew the ball was lying on the ground. The Georgia players saw it, but they were about 10 yards away. Nix thinks he hands it, but is not handed off. It kind of hit the fullback Beasley on the side of the pad, and then there's the scramble for it. It bounces around, and the Bulldogs now get their turnover in this football game. You see it. It was just on the pad of Beasley. It fell down, and nobody could get to the ball that time, and Georgia ends up with it, and Hines Ward back on the field as Davis goes out holding his shoulder. That happens a lot. You know, you dive for that ball, you get the shoulder hyper-expended, or the elbow.
A lot happened on that play. The top running back for Auburn, maybe injured, and Georgia gets a break at the 32 of Auburn, trailing by only 6. Ward play fake, feeling his oats a little bit, but he overshot his intended receiver, Larry Brown. Boy, Georgia's pulling out all the stops, and Hines Ward is pulling himself out of the Athens turf here.
Well, you can't get the tight end any more open than you can on this play. Hines Ward with a little fake had Larry Brown running. Larry Brown, 250-pound tight end. He probably got about a 30-inch vertical jump. He needed about a 38-inch vertical jump to get that one.
2nd down and 10 coming up for Georgia.
I like that play call on 1st down, though.
First 2 drives netted them almost nothing. The last 2 have been pretty good looking, including a touchdown. Ward from the shotgun. He's done well from the spread today. And he throws behind Juan Daniels, incomplete. Coverage by Dan Evans defensively for Auburn. And Juan Daniels shaking his head a little bit as if to say, I was open, Hines.
All day, the technique to the outside. This time it's Larry Melton. He's got man-to-man coverage, no help. You see Ryan Taylor, number 6, running over. He's reacting to the ball. Melton is on his own. Both cornerbacks, Melton and McGee, have been asked to take the wide receivers out of the game. I think the game plan for Wayne Hall is they don't have a great thrower. Let's go man outside and give a lot of change-ups with blitz inside and stop the running game. Same look.
Dogs with that same look. Gary's talking about 4 wideouts from the shotgun. Ward scrambling around. Still on the move. Throws on the run, hoping somebody will run under it. It was almost run under in the secondary by Houston. Incomplete. And let's check in with Mike Tirico.
Brad, Ohio State leads by 35. Nebraska by 25. Here's what's going on. Nebraska leads by 25. Ohio State by 35. Lawrence Phillips a run. He has 7 carries and 29 yards.
Thank you, sir. That's Mike less Tirico that time. Here's a 49-yard field goal attempt coming up by Parkman. He got into it pretty good. Hit the upright and drops harmlessly. No good. Wow. He got a bunch of it, but he hit the upright. Dogs had a chance. Remember, they recovered a fumble and then set up from long range, and Parkman got his cannon into it. But no good. Still 13-7.
I travel halfway across town for a Rally Burger. Let's put it that way.
The burger's always that thick, and when you pick it up, you got to squeeze it down.
This is better than any burger I've ever ate.
It's good,
Yeah.
that's all.
You feel as though you're eating quality A1 meat.
You feel how cold the lettuce is, how cold the tomatoes are. That's fresh.
Yeah, you can see your mom back there in the kitchen putting this together for you. Rally Burger, now only 79 cents.
Sometime I eat one and get halfway across town. Then I say, where's the next Rally's?
At Larry Puckett Chevrolet Geo, they let their customers do the talking.
I was in the market for a new car, and I'd heard that Larry Puckett gave good deals to their customers. I was interested in Illumina, and I came and bought the car, and I'm real happy with it, and I did get a good deal.
Take the short drive to big savings. Larry Puckett Chevrolet Geo in Prattville.
Larry Puckett Chevrolet, they let my mama do the talking.
Larry Puckett Chevrolet Geo in Prattville.
Want inside? I mean, like, be there. In the paint, kissing it off the glass. In the red zone. In the slot, cranking a slap shot. Flat out on a straightaway. It's all about coverage. Like NHL hockey 3 nights a week. 175 NCAA basketball games. A great college football lineup. And the most complete NASCAR and IndyCar coverage on television. Want to feel it? To get the contact your cable or satellite provider.
Fred Beasley breathing a bit easier, and it's not because of the nose strip. It's because his fumble didn't lead to any Georgia points. From the shotgun. Wide open, but in and out of the hands of Kevin McLeod. incomplete. 2nd and 10 with 7:39 remaining in the half.
I think Terry Bowden, Tommy Bowden, the offensive coordinator, are both more comfortable running this attacking type offense without the I formation. They just have not had the time nor the experience at wide receiver to really implement their game plan this year in 1995.
95, a 6-3 year right now, which has Auburn fans upset, if you can believe that, after what went on the last 2 years. That one swatted down at the line of scrimmage.
And I think you said it earlier, it's all about expectations. You know, it happens the same way in the stock market, you know, when those earnings report comes out. If they say you should do it one way and you don't make it, your stock's going to drop. And that's exactly what happened with Auburn. Terry Bowden said, you know, I knew we might be a bit weaker this year, but I had to sell it to my football team the way I thought they could do it, and I was pointing for the national championship.
He says he's going to continue to do it that way. It's the only way he knows how because of his enthusiasm. Georgia almost jumped off sides, and they may have. Nix, they'll whistle it dead, and I think Georgia was in the neutral zone.
And Willie Anderson also was leaning back, number 71, the big offensive tackle that time. A couple people, you know, you can step in the neutral zone and step back, and I think Anderson started to lean.
Let's see what the officials say. We've gotten our 2 cents worth in.
Movement by the defense caused the offense to move. It's a 5-yard penalty.
We're both right, Gary.
Yeah, well, and that's a good call, too, because that's exactly what happened.
Let's go now to Adrian.
Tailback Stephen Davis, number 48 for Auburn, suffered a deep bruise to his right shoulder on that last series, guys, when he fumbled the ball. He's having trouble gripping the ball with his right hand. We're going to hold him out for now.
All right, we'll keep our eye on him.
And that's what necessitated this shotgun formation from Auburn. Remember how successful they were against Arkansas when they staged that second half, going shotgun the whole second half.
3rd down at 5. Georgia with a corner blitz coming. Nix rifles it out. Is it complete? Yes, it is. Good to Gaucher in front of Sims. And some folks here in Sanford Stadium thought he trapped it, but they give him the catch to the 45.
The true junior Gaucher had a marvelous game against Arkansas. 17 receptions for 222 yards. This time again, goes just past the down marker. The ball is thrown low, and it didn't look like he got his arms underneath that throw. Nix threw the ball low to the outside, just exactly how he's taught.
That's his 3rd catch of the day for 26 yards, and that ties an Auburn single-season record. Here's a give to McLeod. Nice job by Georgia to stay home and make the tackle on the draw play. Coming up on Wednesday, college hoops tips off. Preseason NIT at 7:30. I'll be down the road in Atlanta. Georgia Tech against Manhattan. And it's DePaul and Michigan. Part of our triple header as well as Weber State, Fresno State at midnight. 3 games, NIT preseason. And on the deuce, first-round action, Long Beach State against Arizona. That's all coming up this week. College basketball is here, folks, on ESPN and ESPN2. I think between both ESPN and ESPN2, we only have 426 college basketball games this year.
And probably have to do high school, too, to fill up all the programming for those 2 stations. And the way it is, I'm surprised you're not doing all 3 of those.
Nope, just one of them this week. Auburn was 74 yards on the ground. 2nd and 8. Here they play fake it. Nix in trouble. Daniels chasing. And Nix will get what he can. He's run out at about the 49-yard line. Philip Benton.
I think Patrick Nix had a busted assignment that time from one of his receivers. Remember, they're very young. 3 true freshmen are playing in this shotgun formation on different calls. And you'll see Nix, he's going to fake the sweep and look for somebody to throw to. There's nobody to throw to. No slants. Someone didn't get the play that time, and Nix had to come out of it on a busted play.
So they nixed that play. And Patrick will take the direct snap on 3rd and 5. Right side, I don't know, to get another one? He did. Gaucher made 2 catches, very similar, right in front of Alandis Sims. And it's another first down for the Tigers.
It's hard to believe that Gaucher, he's only averaging 11 yards per catch. For as many receptions as he's had, he has not scored a touchdown from a pass this year. And a lot of the reason is a lot of these throws are just like that. Right near the sideline, short passes. A lot of the receivers of Auburn's football team this year catching the ball with no running yardage afterwards. As you look at his average, 13 yards per catch, and that big game he had against Arkansas.
At the 42, Nix rolls and pulls up to throw and throws that one over the Georgia bench.
Goodson is a starter, probably their fastest receiver. But, you know, he lost a starting assignment on this football team when Tommy Bowden, his coach, said he's not blocking well enough. He put a true freshman ahead of him, only played 13 plays last week, and he said, I think I got his attention. He'll block tonight.
Second down and 10 from the 41. Nix down the middle. Completes it. Nice balance. Eric Lowe put a hand down and picks up positive yardage inside the 35 of Georgia.
This time coming from the outside, Eric Lowe, one of the true freshmen, is going to run a pattern control type route over the middle. That's to throw it and hold those linebackers. They've not been able to get the ball, but I'll tell you, Frank Rotz, their best pass rusher, came in and let Nix know that he's not going to throw these things in 7-on-7. And what I mean by that is no pass rush all night.
Stephen Davis back as the tailback in the eye on a big third down for Auburn. If they're going to get more points, here he is on the toss. And there he goes down on the toss. Whit Marshall is there, so is Paul Snelling, and Greg Bright as well. And short of the first down, it's fourth down Auburn. They may go for it here, though. It's a tough spot with a wind in your face, and it'll be about a 51-yard field goal.
Yeah, and you wonder again why they don't go for it with their offense that works so well near the goal line with Damian Craig coming on and having the ability to run a rollout with your quarterback. It gives you that fourth back who can run the ball.
Well, he is strapping it on. That might be the case with a fourth down coming up after this timeout. 13-7 Auburn.
It could only come from here. Canada. The home of ice. Molson Ice. Ice brewed to be colder and bolder. Yet smooth as ice. Molson Ice. From the land where ice was born.
Time changes. Nothing lasts forever. Either you change or you get left behind. Today's technology is amazing, but the batteries got left behind. Well, Railvac changed all of that. Renew them. They're alkaline like regular batteries, but more advanced. You can renew them, reuse them, and they come back strong. It's so easy to throw them in here. Why would I throw them out there? Play it smart. Railvac Renewal.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just one touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
Back in Athens with 5:18 left in the half.
You know, Brad, they lost just enough that I think they'll probably go shotgun formation. They're just, you know, it's fourth and a long 3, and they are going to keep Patrick Nix in the shotgun and spread it out.
Harold Morrow will flank him back there. And they're set to throw on fourth down. And it is completed down to the 27-yard line. And it's Lowe who's caught 2 on this series. Make it Robert Baker, not Lowe. Baker with a catch.
Well, he's still another true freshman that came in and caught that ball that time. And he was a tailback in a high school and a wide receiver not until his senior year. So he's just getting used to playing wideout.
From the 27, quarterback draw. Nix takes off himself. Oh, boy, did he pay the price at the 21-yard line.
And that's exactly what you have to do if you're a Georgia defense. But, boy, you got to love Patrick Nix that time, showing his Auburn football team that he's playing this game all out. Remember, this Auburn football team the seniors have never been to a bowl game. This quarterback and those seniors for Auburn want to go badly.
Marshall gets him low, and Tolbert says hello up around the collarbone. Well, he picked up 7, though. Second down and 3. 12th play of the Auburn drive. Georgia thinks about a blitz. They bring it. And Davis will be dragged down short of the first down. Tolbert again in on the stop.
Brandon Tolbert is playing that linebacker position in front of Randall Godfrey. You know, that's a Butkus candidate for 3 straight years. And Tolbert has beat him out as Auburn Auburn is going to go hurry-up huddle right here with their backup group in.
Damian Craig included at quarterback. Gives it to the first man and a first down. Inside the 15 goes McLeod. And Auburn just keeps moving it down the field.
I like this changeup because it gives you so many more options from your group, on your short yardage group. You can get them ready on the sideline. You have your quarterback that also can run the ball, and they look so polished with that coming off the bench. Damian Craig was going to be, he was most valuable player in the spring 2 straight years. He's going to be a great quarterback before he leaves Auburn.
First down inside the Georgia 15 for the Auburn Tigers, leading 13-7. Play action for Nix. Lofts it out. Beasley didn't get there, but he's got it first and goal for Auburn. At the 1-yard line.
Brandon Tolbert and Landis Sims are the 2 guys that made the tackle, but this was a beautifully conceived play. Little fake. There goes the fullback slipping out to the flat. And boy, before we get done with the replay, they're going to be snapping the ball. This is a hurry-up goal line offense. Haven't seen this before.
Craig in for the touchdown from a yard. Damian Craig does it himself. Long, sustained Auburn drive, and it nets him a touchdown.
Surprised Auburn isn't going for 2 on this one with it 19-7. Remember, they missed the last extra point.
Matt Hawkins for the extra point. Got it with 3:25 left in the first half, and Auburn has added to its advantage as the Tigers up it to 20-7. On a 15-play drive that covered 68 yards. Coming up this week on ESPN2, NHL hockey action. On Wednesday, it's Colorado against Anaheim at 10:30 Eastern. Avalanche off to a strong start. Then on Thursday, New Jersey against Boston from the brand new Fleet Center in Boston. Both games this week on ESPN2. Good-looking scoring drive, and that guy, when they bring him down there, Gary, as you said, a different look, a little change of pace.
Hurry-up goal line and short yardage offense. It really does keep the other team from getting their goal line defense out there quickly because he's running out there. They're snapping the ball, and they've got the play already called before you can react to it. I think Patrick Nix really showed a lot. That quarterback draw play when he jumped up and got hit by a few guys, you can see. You play Southern football, it dips below 35, 40 degrees. You put the headgear on.
15 plays and 68 yards. And Craig from a yard to make it 20-7. Hawkins to kick.
Still, though, just 13 points. And I again, a bit surprised they didn't go for 2.
Georgia will have the wind at its back, and it'll have good field position to start things off because that one goes out of bounds. And we assume Georgia's going to take it at the 35-yard line with their full complement of timeouts and 3:25 left till halftime. Let's check in with Mike Tirico.
Coming up at halftime, Nebraska leads by 32. Number 2, Ohio State leads by 38. We'll show you all the top 25 story. Auburn fans, Alabama is next. We'll show you how the Crimson Tide did today. And the coach of the best story in college football this year joins us when we join you at halftime. Brad.
All right, Mike.
That's easy to narrow down. I assume they're going to talk to Gary Barnett.
That's right. And they had to come from behind against Iowa today to win.
Well, they also did it to Illinois a couple weeks ago also.
First down for Georgia. The wind at its back with 3:25 left in the half. Trailing by 13. Hines Ward ready to go to work. Flares it out there. Larry Bowie. Bowie down the sideline. And he's all the way down to the 33-yard line.
A lot of gambling defense from Auburn. Man-to-man to the outside. They're blitzing. Anthony Harris has got the fullback. They slip the fullback into the outside, and Anthony Harris from his inside linebacker position, who was playing the run, had to try to catch up with Bowie. You know, he did it, though. Bowie, if he had a couple steps more speed that time, could have taken it the distance.
Well, he's had a bad wheel since the Alabama game. Otherwise, he may have, but he did take it 33 yards down to a first down at the 33. Ward is 7 out of 14 on the day. Here's Bowie on the ground. And Larry still trying to go inside the 30-yard line. Spikes made the tackle. Ward's having a good day, Gary.
Yeah, you know, he's completing 50% of his passes, and he's thrown a couple away so far, but he's given the Georgia defense, the Auburn defense, enough misdirection and enough offense to keep them honest. And Wayne Hall's strategy in this game is, I'm stopping the run with the blitz. You're going to have to beat me with a pass. And so far, Hines Ward has shown that he might be able to do it. And here they come again.
Auburn brings up the group up close. Torrin Kirksey off the right side. Tagged by Martavius Houston, who came up from the secondary, and just a little bit short, I think, for Kirksey of a first down.
There's a weakness for this Auburn defense. It's their very young inside on their defensive line. Brumbaugh and Suttle are very young, a true freshman, a sophomore. They've been able to have teams run the ball against the Auburn defense. That was unheard of for a lot of years down there at the University of Auburn.
Third down and a yard. Two tight ends set for Georgia. Huge play for them, and they're going to get more points before halftime. Kirksey got it, and then some. Inside the 20 goes Torrin Kirksey.
Really got to love Torrin Kirksey. I promise you, 165, 170 pounds. He carried the ball 38 times against Clemson. They just kept giving it to him, and they countered it up afterward. He is not big, just a true freshman. And, you know, usually true freshmen that play early in their career are bigger backs. This is a smaller guy, and he really looks like he's going to be a fine one before he leaves and finishes. He's already pretty good.
The fifth tailback Georgia's had to use this year because of injury. Kirksey picks up the first down, and now Ward to the end zone. Man there, got him! Bryce Hunter, nope, he's out of bounds.
Boy, I'll tell you, did he drag his foot? Because Bryce Hunter made a beautiful catch. You only need the toe in. You only need one. And are we talking man-to-man to the outside? Del Curry, here's the look that Del Curry's going to have. This is all he's seen all game. The man in front of him, man-to-man, inside technique, doesn't know when the ball's coming. Now see if you can see his right foot, does it drag on the play? Catches it. He comes
that's a touchdown.
His right knee came in very clearly. I don't know what official's looking at. He's only got one thing to look at on that play, and his knee was in. Ray Goff is going to call timeout, but Ray, there's no instant replay.
Georgia has a touchdown taken away. That one was good.
Boy, he's staring right at the play and doesn't come up with the call.
The official that was there, and a great catch by Bryce Hunter, who was Eric Zier's favorite target. Here's another look.
You'll see it. It's pretty easy to walk at. His knee comes down inside, slides across the line. That was a good catch.
This is the better look. This is the one we had at the beginning. There he has possession. Here comes his right knee, and it's down there.
It's a good 4 or 5 inches inside the line, and you can tell a lot of people in the crowd right now have heard that that ball was caught and was inside, and I'm telling you, Bryce Hunter knew for sure.
Well, Ray Goff knows too, and he's letting the officials know. Good job. The kind of plays that Georgia needs to be able to beat a team like Auburn.
And I'll say again, for an inexperienced quarterback, it's easy to throw against the blitz. It's one-on-one all day.
2nd and 10. Kirksey goes down at the 11.
Kirksey very upset with himself that time. Thought he could have made that last guy miss and get it into the end zone. Minute to go in this half. 3rd down and short. Need about 2.5 yards to pick up the first down.
And a minute left in the half.
And now being only down 13, you wonder if you kick the field goal if you don't make it. I think I would.
Juan Daniels, the only wideout split. Now Hunter, who's on a wing left, is in motion. Hines Ward looks left, pumps, goes himself, touchdown!
Holy cow!
And they're starting to bark in Athens. They haven't done that in a while. Hines Ward just gave him a reason to woof. Vince Dooley almost creased a smile. Extra point by Parkman, good. And Hines Ward has put Georgia right back in the thick of the football game. The Dogs answer the Auburn touchdown with one of their own.
Might not be able to get Hines Ward out of this spot. He's becoming a real weapon here. drops back. This was not a quarterback draw, not a design play. And when he goes, it's like a middle receiver, a middle screen to a wide receiver, and he just takes it. Charlie Rose gets the hit, but he spins into the end zone, and that is two quarterbacks playing all out in this football game as Ray Goff comes by and said, that's what we need.
Well, one was taken away on a Bryce Hunter reception, but that one wasn't. So Georgia poetic justice prevails, gets their touchdown, 20-14. 7 plays, 65 yards in 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Auburn has 2 timeouts, 40 seconds to go. Into the window, it looks like they'll have to get it down to at least the 20-yard line to kick a field goal.
Cannon Parkman will tee it up. And we're just 40 seconds away from halftime. There's the guy of the hour so far. Parkman kick. Robert Baker from the 2. He's dangerous if he gets in the open field. Bounces across the 25 out near the 28-yard line. As I mentioned, close to halftime, 32 seconds left until the GMAC halftime report. Mike Tirico will be in the studio with scores and highlights from around college football today. We'll look at another one of the SEC, Mississippi State and Alabama. Eddie George Day at the Shoe against Illinois. And Northwestern reaction from their game today. Plus the thoughts from Chris Fowler and Lee Corson and Craig James, who were at Northwestern today. That's all coming up. GMAC halftime report in 32 seconds.
I'll bet you they didn't even go outside to watch the game.
You saying those 3 are lightweight? I know one thing. We're sitting in some cold weather, partner.
Well, not like it was up there. Auburn's going to play it safe. I don't blame them. It's really probably difficult to figure you can drive the length of the field. It's more likely a mistake, and we really had a good half of football running for both squads in this football game.
Hines Ward said, you know, I like the quarterback spot, but I can feel the pressure from everybody.
Well, he's putting pressure on Auburn right now.
That he is. As the half comes to a close, a good one between the Tigers and the Bulldogs. They'll head to the locker room to warm up and talk about our second half, which right now at halftime has Auburn leading Georgia 20-14. As we check in with the GMAC halftime report and Mike Tirico. Mike?
Okay, Brad, a Terry Bowden team that has led at the half has never lost, 20-0-1. So keep that in mind during the second half. Coming up on the GMAC halftime report, the Heisman race focusing in a little bit today, and also some statements from number 1 and number 2. And we'll take you to Evanston, Illinois, where the Wildcats have sent the college football world spinning this year. Stay with us for halftime. At the break, the Tigers lead the Dogs by 6.
We stood side by side with Mike Boren when he laid 90,000 feet of sod. We carried the team's equipment when Mike Jr. pitched his first game. Then we chauffeured the whole family off to Angelo's to celebrate. GMC Sierra, with standard 4-wheel ABS and the same steel ladder frame built into our commercial trucks, it's a truck built for the way you live. Sierra is built for life. See the full line of GMC trucks at your GMC truck dealer.
Mother Boyle and son Tim demonstrate their Columbia Parker's radial sleeves and zip-out liner. The Columbia interchange system adapts to any outdoor situation.
We've invested billions to help businesses grow and provided billions more to improve homes and finance educations. We developed special insurance to pay for nursing home care and low-cost life insurance for people over 50. Because at Transamerica, we sell life insurance, but our real business is improving your life. Transamerica, life insurance, leasing, commercial, and consumer loans.
This halftime report is brought to you by GMAC.
Let's immediately get you updated on the games involving top 25 teams still going on. Nebraska at Kansas up 7-0, and Tommy Frazier runs the option. Keeps it. Frazier dukes through the Kansas defense. A tremendous run by Frazier down to the 1, and he ran it in from there. Kansas, I think, outplayed Nebraska in the first half, but a story of missed opportunities. Isaac Bird, intended receiver, Tyrone Williams, the INT. Third quarter, 21-3 Nebraska. In comes Lawrence Phillips, a 6-yard touchdown run for Phillips. He has about 10 carries and 40 yards. You see Frazier's numbers, very solid and steady. Nebraska, workmanlike demolition of number 10 Kansas by 32 in Lawrence in the fourth. In Columbus, it's been the Eddie George show with Terry Glenn out because of the shoulder injury. First quarter, 39 yards to the 4. Pepe Pearson ran it in for the touchdown from there. Luke Tepper's defense is a good defense. Eddie George is making mincemeat out of it today. He broke the single-game school rushing record. A lot of the yards coming here. A 64-yard scamper. George, over 300 yards. Best rushing day in Division 1A this year. 36 carries, 314, and he caught a beautiful touchdown reception. Frazier and George making Heisman statements. Nebraska and Ohio State making national championship statements this afternoon. In the Pac-10, Oregon, they could be in third place when this day is done. Down 3 to Arizona. Tony Graziani to Aaron Jelks, 5 yards. Ducks lead by 4. Then Gang Green gets its dander up and stops Arizona 4 times from the 2. Oregon had a 17-13 lead at that point. That's the way it is right now with 9 minutes left, fourth quarter. Washington dismantling a UCLA team that is falling apart. They'll fall below 500 in the conference, and Washington will be alone in second place in the Pac-10, assuming those numbers stand up. It's been more than 9 decades since Northwestern's had a 9-win season. The final home game, the final chance for the people of Evanston to really appreciate in person this remarkable season. Iowa, though, had Northwestern's number. 21 straight wins in the series. Iowa up 7-3 in the second. Schnurr's ball is tipped, and Tom Knight, the interception. 27 yards, and Iowa leads 14-3. But Northwestern comes back down 17-14. It's Brian Musso. Look at him. Maneuver on the punt return. 60 yards for the touchdown. Northwestern into the lead, 21-17. Watch out for Dwayne Bates. Here on the reverse, he takes it 17 yards. This key run set up Darnell Autry, who ran it in from 3 yards out. Northwestern goes up 24-20. Then a turnover for a score. Northwestern shuts down Iowa in the second half, wins this game 31-20, but their great linebacker, Pat Fitzgerald, broken left ankle, definitely out for next week, and in all likelihood going to miss the bowl game. Northwestern's 9-1. More on them in a second. Auburn fans, you're waiting for Alabama to come to the Plains next week. Alabama down 9-0 to Mississippi State today, and Dennis Riddle was the man. 30-yard scamper set up his first touchdown of the game. Bama was down 2. Same score. Third quarter. Bama's down 9-7. It's Riddle. Hey, that defensive number 4, he went behind you. A 2-yard touchdown run. Riddle had a $181, 38 carries. Of course, Alabama has to hear their NCAA appeal on Thursday, then play Auburn on Saturday. Arkansas, the West champ out of conference, wins. First time an 8-win season since '89. Miami and Boston College came down to the end of this game. Dan Henning's team rallied from down 14-0, tied it at 14. Miami kicked a field goal to take the lead. Dan McGuire had missed twice on a windy day on Chestnut Hill. From 47 yards, never had a chance. And Miami keeps alive its hopes to be a part of the Alliance in the New Year's Day Bowl picture, beating Boston College by 3. The Eagles cannot go to a bowl. Their record is a very disappointing 3-7. More on Northwestern. We send you back to Evanston and Chris Fowler and company. Chris.
Thanks, Mike. This was the scene this afternoon following the 31-20 victory. They're never going to get those down. Those things are anchored in cement. But nonetheless, Northwestern runs the record to 9-1 in their home finale. Joining us now, Wildcat coach Gary Barnett. Great to get a victory. When you get only 11 first downs, you're only 1 for 9 on third down. Not a vintage day.
Not a vintage day. And Iowa came in here and really took it to us, and they were very physical up front on both sides of the ball. And early on, especially in the first half, they were really running the ball well between the tackles. And when they run at the underbelly of your defense and assault you that way, it really takes away your morale a little bit. But I thought our kids hung in there, and we got some things straightened away, made some adjustments in the second half.
Gary, this is the first time I've seen you in person, but it seemed like that every time they did something, you had an answer for it. That's a sign of a great football team. Have you been doing that all year?
It really has sort of been our MO, Coach, and we've either answered with a special teams play in one way or the other. We've had great punt coverage all year, and then today we had a punt return. That's our second one like that. And it's just been sort of, we've just found a way to get back every time.
You know, it seems like that, you know, all coaches go out and they preach turnovers. You got to create a turnover. But what makes this team so special in doing that?
Well, I think they listen. We're not doing anything any different than what we have, but we have just, they listen. And I think in practice, one of the things, Craig, that has happened is we started to have a great amount of competition in creating turnovers in the practice itself, and the kids sort of keep track of who gets interception, who gets knockdowns and fumbles, and you know, I think they get excited about having that opportunity.
Yeah. Ending the streak against Iowa after Hayden Fry's pregame comments, is it sweet?
Yeah. You know, we have tried not to buy into any of those streaks in the past, so I'm not going to buy into this one now. And so it's just nice to be 1-0 against Iowa this year.
I'm not buying that. Thanks very much. Congratulations. They just keep doing it. Touchdowns with special teams and defense.
Well, they got Purdue next weekend in Lafayette. That's not an easy team to beat down there in West Lafayette. But I think the one thing about Northwestern, they have momentum. They find a way to win. I think they got a chance at it. One thing is for sure. They're either going to California or Florida, which ain't too bad.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and you talk about that. The one thing that Coach said is that when they went out and the power of Iowa was there in the first half, they hung in there, and that all has to go back to the weight room and all the things we talked about earlier in the shows.
And remember, Gary, we were out there watching the game in the cold, by the way. But they're not going to get the Buckeyes loss they need today. I think John Cooper making a statement on two fronts, guys. One, in the polls, because the margin very slim over Florida. And he's not playing Mr. Nice Guy. No more Mr. Nice Guy for Cooper. And also leaving Eddie George in for the Heisman race.
Hey, Eddie George is the guy that's making the statement today. The guy has gone out against the number 10 ranked defense and kicked them in the britches. The guy is an excellent runner. Matter of fact, I think he's gotten so much better in the open field, and his speed has improved because he's been in the secondary so much.
Nebraska is now overwhelming Kansas, but they were not sharp and were fortunate to get some miscues by the Jayhawks in the first half. Kansas might have been leading that game at the break.
Yeah, no question, but Nebraska's the #1 team in the nation for one reason. That's Tommy Frazier. He runs the option, he throws the ball, and they would not be #1 without Frazier. He's that good.
A two-man race, the Heisman debate really heating up, and a lot to talk about the polls. Florida still ready to make their statement in game number 2 of our doubleheader. We'll see you back here at halftime of that ball game. Mike Tirico, though, back with more scores and highlights. The quagmire in Ann Arbor. Same weather system moved east ahead of impact.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It just might give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around. Don't let a new truck payment stretch you to the limit. Call 1-800-32-SMART. About Smart Lease by GMAC. It keeps new vehicles well within reach.
It's a blast from the past. All your favorite arcade games like Asteroid, Centipede, Defender, and Gallagher. So polish up your old moves. You'll need them to survive the arcade classics. Now available in 2-in-1 game packs for Game Boy and Super Game Boy, baby.
Can a McDonald's McChicken sandwich take you by surprise? Can it help you win friends and influence people? Can it be just the break you've been waiting for? Of course it can. Can it make you see double? Yes, with McDonald's 2 for $2. 2 tender McChicken sandwiches or 2 6-piece chicken McNuggets for just $2. So, can it turn a pair of average couch potatoes into every woman's fantasy? Come on, what do you want for $2?
Have you had your break today?
This halftime report is presented by GMAC Smart Lease. Want low monthly payments on a new GM vehicle? Call 1-800-32-SMART.
Stephen Davis has 2 of Auburn's 3 touchdowns. Tigers lead the Dogs by 6 between the hedges. Welcome to those of you who watched Ohio State win their game 41-3. Florida State no longer perfect. Today going to Chapel Hill, taking on North Carolina, trying to get back on track for Florida. They scored on a punt block on the 4th play of the game, and then their first offensive play of the game weren't done. 43 of his 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, back-to-back 1,000-yard campaigns on the ground. First to do that in school history. Florida State wins by 16. Virginia clinched at least a tie for the ACC title. Clemson's won 4 in a row. Purdue and Michigan at the Big House on a wet day. 4th quarter, the quagmire. Purdue down 3-0 and a corner blitz. Clarence Thompson coming from the top of your screen gets Rick Tresker for a safety. Michigan wins 5-0. Their first 5-0 win since 1899. The Wolverines are 8-2. Iowa State's Troy Davis had 183 today, needs 170 for 2,000, but his team was trounced soundly. Virginia Tech clinches at least a share of the Big East title. They beat Temple by 22, their 8th straight. A reminder, this is a primetime doubleheader coming up after this game. The Gators. They see what Nebraska and Ohio State have done. What can they do to South Carolina?
Through the ages, man has followed his distant dreams and reached for the stars with varying degrees of success. Now, 2 radio visionaries have realized their dream, a morning show that's rude, crude, and sometimes offensive. It's the John Boy and Billy Big Show, weekday mornings 5 to 9 on 95.1 The Fox.
Hey, is he calling us stupid? Of course not. We wrote the script. Oh, so we're calling us stupid. Exactly.
The John Boy and Billy Big Show, weekday mornings 5 to 9 on 95.1 The Fox.
I hate bugs.
Roaches, I'm petrified with them.
Sears Pest Control's 7-step treatment will rid your home of bugs for a full year.
Once a year is convenient, effective.
Sears comes one time, does their job, and that's the end of it.
The technician went everywhere.
Very thorough.
There were no fumes, no odors, no mess. 4 years, 4 visits, no bugs.
For a free inspection, call Sears Pest Control today.
Sears is a good thing.
Football involves teamwork, sacrifice, and enthusiasm. Often, college football players exhibit that same spirit beyond the playing field. Student athletes assist the handicapped, work with underprivileged youth, aid the homeless, and promote the importance of education. That's why the College Football Association established a Good Works team to honor players who have helped in their community. We salute those college football players who have devoted themselves to helping others.
210 years ago, the founders of the University of Georgia dreamed of an institution dedicated to academic excellence. Today, more than 2 centuries later, their dream has been achieved. The nation's oldest chartered public university, the University of Georgia.
Welcome to those of you who watched Nebraska win 41-3. Our scores: Auburn 20, Georgia 14. In the Southwest Conference, Baylor's tied with Texas A&M for second. They demolished the Ponies today. Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma. It is the worst conference record for Oklahoma. It's first time under 500 in some 3 decades. Michigan State beat Indiana. 6th straight loss for Indiana. Michigan State is qualified for a bowl berth. Cincinnati, you see there, they lost to Kentucky. Kentucky has now won 4 straight games. North Carolina State loses at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, C.J. Williams, 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns. Memphis, 11 turnovers in this game. My goodness, Southern Miss gets it done. BYU, they've won 6 of their last 7. They lead the WAC. San Diego State could tie them tonight. Air Force wins the Commander-in-Chief Trophy for the 7th year in a row. That's Delaware's first loss of the season. And Toledo is on its way to clinching the MAC title and the Las Vegas berth. In the Pac-10, Arizona State move above 500 if they can hang on. They lead in Berkeley by 9. We'll continue after this.
Don't let a new car payment be a financial burden. Call 1-800-32-SMART about Smart Lease by GMAC. It's an affordable way to drive off with a new GM vehicle. And it might even give you something you wouldn't mind carrying around.
When young policyholders come to me, I look at them and think, boy, that was me 15 years ago. I remember very well how quickly things changed for Debbie and me. Marriage, children, our first house. It's exactly why State Farm's family insurance checkups are such a good idea. Your agent helps you put it all in perspective so you can make the right decisions. The way you were 5 years ago is not the way you are today. It's comforting to me when I can say to my policyholders, hey, I've been there.
State Farm is there.
Auburn leads our game by 6. In the Ivy League, Princeton loses for the first time this year. They're 5-1, and so is Cornell. Tied with Princeton for the Ivy lead. Penn beat Harvard 38-21. Harvard's season at home finishes 0-6. Remember Nat Moore of the Miami Dolphins against the Jets, a much-replayed NFL Films highlight? Hines Ward does that human helicopter, keeping the Dogs in it. They're down by 6.
Through the ages, man has followed his distant dreams and reached for the stars with varying degrees of success. Now, two radio visionaries have realized their dream, a morning show that's rude, crude, and sometimes offensive. It's the John Boy and Billy Big Show, weekday mornings 5 to 9 on 95.1 The Fox.
Hey, is he calling us stupid? Of course not. We wrote the script. Oh, so we're calling us stupid. Exactly.
The John Boy and Billy Big Show, weekday mornings 5 to 9 on 95.1 The Fox.
I hate bugs.
Roaches, I'm petrified with them.
Sears Pest Control's 7-step treatment will rid your home of bugs for a full year.
Once a year is convenient, effective.
Sears comes one time, does their job, and that's the end of it.
The technician went everywhere.
Very thorough.
There were no fumes, no odors, no mess. 4 years, 4 visits, no bugs.
For a free inspection, call Sears Pest Control today.
Sears is a good thing.
If you're in high school and like to play sports for an NCAA Division 1 or 2 school, you must be certified by the NCAA Initial Eligibility Clearinghouse. Ask your coach or guidance counselor for one of these student release forms. Fill it out and send it to the clearinghouse. Remember, if you're not certified, you can't compete as a freshman in NCAA Division 1 or 2 school. For more information, call 319-337-1492.
Just about set to start the third quarter from Athens. And Auburn out in front of the Bulldogs 20-14 as Cannon Parkman kicks to start the third. Robert Baker will have to watch this one go out of the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson back with you at chilly Athens, Georgia, but cold. Things heated up in the first. It is cold. Hines Ward helped warm us up a little bit in that first half.
It was a beautiful first half by both teams, but I think the surprise, who would have ever thought? McCraney had the early turnover for Georgia, and Auburn took it in and posted the early lead, but Hines Ward brought his team back with his arm. His pass to Juan Daniels, the first touchdown, and then with his feet, late in the first half, he took a play, backed in the pocket, did not have anyone open, scrambled right up the middle with great effort, took the ball in, and that made it 20-13 at half, and really got to set up for a great half here at football.
And the third underway, and it's the first pass knocked down by Phillip Daniels. Statistically in the first half.
And I think the big surprise there, who would have thought that at halftime Georgia would be outpassing Auburn? I think that's the key stat in this football game. Georgia's kept in this game, throwing the football, plays fairly even, first downs fairly even. The turnover is really what's the difference in this football game right now.
2nd and 10. Beasley and Davis behind Patrick Nix. Nix fires out, complete to Baker. Baker broke a tackle down the sideline. Now back to the middle of the field and into Georgia territory. Whit Marshall may have saved a touchdown, a 32-yard pickup, and Baker's only going to get better and better.
Robert Baker, you called it a true freshman. Very safe, real easy pitch and catch to the outside, and they're only looking for 5 yards, but you get one-on-one coverage to the outside. Patrick Nix throws it out there, missed tackle to the outside by Buster Owens, and Baker's running downfield that time, and one guy's hurt. I think it's Corey Johnson. Whit Marshall ended up making the play. You see Buster Owens, a poor pursuit angle that time, tackle angle by Buster Owens. Allowed the big play to bust to the outside.
Corey Johnson still down at the 40-yard line and in the field of play, as a matter of fact. Corey is Georgia's top interceptor on the season. Baker had the rough game against Arkansas that really got Auburn in a hole. He dropped the opening kickoff. He had a pass on third down that he dropped, and then he ran a wrong pattern that turned into an interception, and everything just avalanched.
Right, every mistake, and that's what Terry Bowden was telling us last night, that every mistake they made early in that football game, Arkansas turned into points. All of a sudden, they run the ball down there, drop a pass, boom, 7-0. Come back there again, make a missed assignment, it's 21. Then it's 27-0 before they even get started. They haven't even punted. In that football game, they only punted twice in the whole football game, and they're behind and really fighting for their life the whole second half.
Let's check in with Adrian.
What Terry Bowden was telling me and his team at halftime was this is what he wants to see in this half, what we're seeing in this initial series. The pace of the game. He wants the pace of this game to match his pace over on the sidelines and his level of enthusiasm. On defense, Georgia says, hey, don't let that bother you, right off to his team. Sit back a little bit further off the ball, be ready for anything.
Well, they had to slow the pace till Corey Johnson was helped off the field for Georgia. But here they come now at the Dogs' 48-yard line. About 3 yards for Davis before Ferguson and Marshall can drag him down.
Talked about Patrick Nix and where he likes to throw the football, and you can see he throws the ball short. Not one pass thrown beyond 15 yards downfield, and that's really, I think, a lack of confidence that this staff has in Patrick Nix's arm to throw the ball deep.
They don't question his guts or his leadership, though. He's won them a lot of football games. Here he is, going down. Ferguson is there. So is Benton.
Might be another reason why they're not throwing the ball down the field too much. They don't have enough time to throw the ball downfield. The biggest improvement for this Georgia football team has been the emergence of the front four. Jason Ferguson, one of the junior college signees that has really come on and made this a different defense. And Philip Benton, number 48, came from the outside with one of the best pass rushers on the football team, a defensive end or outside linebacker coming in, putting the pressure on.
Georgia fans starting to get into it here. Third down and long. Screen pass coming. Beasley's got it on the run, and Beasley down the sideline has a first down and more. He'll have a touchdown. 54 yards on the screen pass.
Georgia was in a zone defense, and they busted an assignment that time to the outside. The corner, Buster Owens, number 3, did not take a proper angle, and he didn't force Beasley inside. Watch the left side of your screen. Number 3 should have forced it back in. There's where the pursuit coming from the inside. Beasley gets to the outside, and it's changed scoreboard time.
Change it to 26-14, 27 if Hawkins hits the point after. Extra point is good. First completion for Patrick Nix to somebody other than a wide receiver, and Beasley said, thanks, man, I'll score for you.
If everyone's ready, I'd like to get started. The all-new Chrysler Town & Country LXI has...
How would you compare the leather-trimmed seats to Lexus?
Well, both have power and memory, but in terms of minivans...
These dual climate zones. Now, isn't BMW doing something similar?
Yes, in the 3 Series. However...
I like that it handles more like a touring sedan. Excuse me, but isn't anyone going to compare it to another minivan? Anyone?
Whopper Junior value meal, Whopper for me, and a double Whopper.
Thanks, man.
Double Whopper. I'm scared of you.
It's good. It's as big as the American way. Big cars, big houses, big food.
At Burger King, get the flame-broiled taste of a Whopper value meal for just your size appetite at just your size price, starting at $1.99. And get your burger's worth.
And what about moderation?
Moderation's cool, if there's a whole lot of it.
Burger King, get your burger's worth.
Now, they may not have to take the hedges out with a company doing it because the fans might do it before they get a chance. They're digging in the final game in front of the original hedges. They'll be changing things up after the Olympics in the summer of '96. Smart on the run at the 9. And Kirby Smart weaves his way out to the 30-yard line. ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night CFA is brought to you by Chrysler and the all-new Chrysler Town & Country minivan, the ultimate. And by Molson Ice from Canada, the land where ice was born. Something like the ice we have on our toes right now in chilly Athens, Georgia. 27-14, just under 13 minutes to go, third quarter. And the Dogs back on offense. Torrin Kirksey. Kirksey got an opening down the sideline. Martavius Houston finally drags him down, but not before Kirksey got 36 yards.
Well, there's the problem for Auburn, and that's why you're getting the big plays, is the corners are involved in passing, covering the wide receivers. And when the wide receiver comes inside the block, the corner's not even seeing whether it's a run or a pass. The ball squirts through, and you can see number 24, Del McGee, to the right side of your screen. He's one of the defenders. He doesn't even see who has the ball. When you blitz and you play man-to-man coverage with bump and run to the outside, and that's what they're doing, you're playing 9-on-9 inside.
Hines Ward rolls, and he's going to go down in a heap. Jimmy Brumbaugh, the true freshman nose man, comes in to trip him up.
What a story for Jimmy Brumbaugh. Came in that game last week against Arkansas and had 19 tackles in that Arkansas game a couple weeks ago when they were, come so close and almost had that great comeback. A true freshman playing nose tackle in SEC football. He said, I thought I was just going to mature for a year. All of a sudden, I'm out on the field.
And he dropped Hines Ward for a loss of 3. Second down at 13. Back at the 36-yard line. Ward wanted to throw a slant and waited for Daniels to come free, incomplete.
Charlie Rose that time, the free safety, stood right in the passing lane. Hines Ward did a good job of not throwing interception. You see his left hand is bandaged up. That was a hit on Hines Ward on that touchdown play, and he's got it bandaged up when he scored.
And Hines Ward still favoring a broken bone in his throwing hand, and I think it's bothering him quite a bit.
Might have happened on that sack just the play before.
Ward 1 for 4 on third down, throwing the ball. He winds up here and goes out. Man opens, got it! Matt Dixon out of bounds with a 1st and goal.
Well, Del McGee needs to check his cleats because he slipped again. Man-to-man coverage, you're on an island out there. A little bit of a post corner that time, and Matt Dixon put a good move on. Shotgun snap. He knows he doesn't have any help to the outside. He's just going to lay it up to the outside of the field. Dixon runs a nice Porsche corner. You see McGee starting to get up off the ground. That's an old story from your corner. When your corner slips and falls, as he did on that one right there, that one could have easily been a touchdown.
And now Georgia has 10 yards to go on 1st and goal. Torrin Kirksey. They got 2 or 3.
Torrin Kirksey was one of the 6 running backs that Georgia had earmarked as one of the people that they wanted to recruit, was on the top of their recruiting list. Never felt that they'd have to use him. Remember how great this season Brad started out at tailback for him. Kirksey probably never thought he'd see the field.
Well, he was about 6th on the list. And it's a long, long list if you go down, and there's what he's done today. But first, Robert Edwards exploded on the scene, and then Hines Ward, and then Selma Calloway, Larry Bowie, and finally Torrin Kirksey. And today, he's having quite and evening. Second and goal. Bryce Hunter in motion. Ward swarmed down from behind, and it's Mark Smith from the backside.
And that's when I really thought that Hines Ward could drop that ball with those small hands. You know, like Dave Craig in the NFL. That's when you get a lot of times you're going to fumble the ball. Far side of your screen coming in. Big number 97, Mark Smith. He's the second leading sack person for this football team with 4 coming into the game. He's at 5 now and counting.
And now third and goal for the Georgia Bulldogs, trailing 27-14, and they're all the way back at the 14-yard line. 4 wide out group, as you can see, 3 up there to the top of your screen. They're going to blitz Ward. He goes to the end zone and he overshot Matt Dixon, the man that got him down close, and he is favoring that hand. It's bothered him, obviously. And that'll bring out Cannon Parkman and the field goal unit.
Nice changeup by Wayne Hall that time. They played a little bit of combo coverage. They showed that it was man-to-man coverage. Did not read well by Ward that time, and Mostella had him inside, and little help always makes it easier covering that post corner to the outside.
Parkman's missed 2 today, but he's got this one. After missing from 41 and 48, he drills it from 31 to put points on the board for Georgia and cut the Auburn lead to 10 with 10 minutes, 20 seconds to go, third quarter.
Oh, isn't that cute? What? You guys are like the 3 bears. You're double Whopper, Whopper, Whopper Jr., Bing, Bang, Boom.
I'm hungry, so what?
Well, nothing, just sort of struck me as funny.
So what are you saying? I'm like the mama bear?
A Whopper value meal for any size appetite, starting at $1.99 every day at Burger King. That's getting your burger's worth.
Hey, baby bear, you gonna finish those fries?
Yes. Ooh, somebody needs a nap.
The future just keeps coming at you. I think about kids today, those video games they play. Every year, a new generation, more advanced. Well, this is the next generation of power. Renewal from Rayovac. They're alkaline, like regular batteries, but more advanced. You can renew them, reuse them, instead of just throwing them out. They don't just come back, they come back strong. Play it smart. Rayovac Renewal.
Right here, right now, this is where you want to be.
Everything's new at your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Even new ways to save. The 96 Buyer's Choice Drive Away. It's your choice. Our biggest cashback ever on 96 models. Or our lowest APR. Even our lowest lease rates on all 96 cars and minivans.
Right here, right now, this is where you want to be.
For a limited time, only at your local Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
The Alabama Crimson Tide roll into Auburn to tackle the Tigers at 5:30. Then the Air Force Falcons play host to Notre Dame at 8:30. Next Saturday on ESPN.
And we welcome you back to the sunny South. Hines Ward, that right hand apparently has been re-injured. John England's been warming up as Georgia kicks. Robert Baker will take it to 7. To about the 27th. Let's check in with Adrian Karsten. Hey,
Brad, Hines Ward is a very brave young man. He came out at end of the half, and the cold is bothering his hand so much that he could barely even throw the ball. He's almost putting the ball. On that last series, he can't snap through, he said, because there's so much pain in that right wrist. What they've done is to put a small brace underneath that and retape it. Now, number 8, John England, is up warming up, trying to do just that. You say warming up, and you know, he's just trying to get a lather going, but it's quite cold down here. See how he can handle it.
And he's a true freshman out of Duluth, Georgia, out of Norcross High School. They would like to not waste a red shirt. Nix comes up firing. And it's completed across the 40 out to the 42-yard line. Georgia fans thought that one was trapped too. Buster Owens made the tackle on Tyrone Goodson. Georgia's defense has done its job today. Auburn only has 87 yards on 29 carries, but the passing game working here.
Well, curl route to the outside. Nice coverage that time by Owens, and, you know, a lot of people waving that it's not caught, but I couldn't tell.
Beasley, first man, only about a yard. Philip Daniels and Keith Drayton are there. Beasley's the guy that gave Auburn the long touchdown on the screen pass.
Yeah, it was one of those plays, third and very long. They're just trying to give something very safe, throw a screen, get maybe 5, 6, 7 yards. Good call on defense by Jack Kynes, the defensive coordinator for defensive coordinator for Georgia, and all of a sudden it goes the whole way.
Second down and 9. Play action for Nix. They wanted to throw a screen. Georgia blew that up, and now Nix gets what he can, and he got back across the line of scrimmage to the 45. It'll be 3rd and 7 after we check in with Mike Tirico.
We're in the middle of an SEC doubleheader in the Big Ten today. The two big stories of the season continue. Ohio State's perfect. Eddie George broke Keith Byers' school rushing record with 314 yards. Ohio State won, and Northwestern still also unbeaten in conference.
What a day for Eddie George. He was in the Heisman hunt, and he probably just put himself up in the upper echelon of that group.
Well, I think it's right now, he or Tommy Frazier are going to take it this year. And finally, it's a good race, and it's going to come down to the last couple games.
3rd down. Auburn, Nix, deep middle's wide open. Goodson again. He's caught 2 on this drive, and this one's good for a 1st down to the 37-yard line.
Tommy Bowden told us last night, the offensive coordinator for this football team at Auburn, said we don't like to throw the ball over the middle of the football field. We don't feel that we do it very well, but that's as open as you can get. That's pitch and catch. Nice job by Goodson finding the open zone, just sitting right in there and making the quarterback almost throw the football to him.
Goodson wasn't blocking hard enough for Tommy Bowden. He said, we got his attention. Georgia shows blitz. Toss to Davis. He's going to lose yardage. Dogs swarm all over him. Whit Marshall and Armin Love. And there's Tommy Bowden.
Brother Tommy, and I'll tell you, after talking to both of them, you cannot play or coach at a higher pitch with more intensity than those two, Terry and Tommy Bowden.
Funny thing about talking to Terry last night, it was just a 27-year younger version of his dad. We just dealt with the old man last Thursday, and everything is 100 miles an hour.
I can't imagine those guys fighting over the barbecue, how they cook hamburgers and everything. I mean, they just go after it, don't they?
They only have 2 things floating in their veins, I think, caffeine and football.
Got it.
2nd down and 12. In trouble. Got away from Daniels, but the ball's loose now. And Georgia's got it. Greg Bright with a fumble recovery.
Well, 3 guys made this play. Bright ended up with the ball, but Philip Daniels is the guy who first came in and flushed Nix out of the pocket. And then Frank Watts, number 58, is the guy who knocked it loose. Coming from the right side, an inside pass rush, 89. Philip Daniels forces Nix up.
What are you trying to adopt him?
It rolls off the tongue so easy, you know. Then Frank Watts comes from behind, and that's where most of the fumbles come from. When you're a quarterback, you have to be aware of people coming from your blind side forcing that ball.
Hines Ward stays in there, bad hand and all, and he'll hand it off to Torrin Kirksey. And Kirksey nears midfield before he's brought down. Got about 6 out to the 49. Martavius Houston and Anthony Harris made the stop. And Kirksey's got 86 yards on the ground today.
Really impressive running back. And to think, you know, he was 5th string when this thing started this year, isn't it? Great tribute to this Georgia staff, getting their players ready and having as much depth and still finding game plans to work for these guys.
2nd down and a long 3 at the 49. Kirksey again. Not much this time.
He squirted through pretty well, though.
And let's see.
There you see Hines Ward with the little brace he has, and he continues to hold it. It's a broken navicular bone in his right wrist, and it's bothering him in this cold weather. And I can understand that. If you've ever had like a jammed finger or thumb in cold weather, it just hurts all that much more.
3rd down and inches for Georgia. Hines Ward's done a nice job today, Gare.
And he's thrown deeper than I thought he would, basically because it's been all man-to-man coverage, and he's throwing with confidence and deep.
Under 6 minutes, 3rd quarter. Georgia trying to answer Auburn here, and Hines Ward does it himself for the 1st down. Now to the 45-yard line. forget, coming up next, we'll continue our college football Saturday with Florida and South Carolina. And you know that Danny Warfel and Steve Tannehill and that group will be putting it in the air, followed by the Residents in College Scoreboard Show. So another SEC battle between the Gamecocks and the Gators, following the Dogs and the Tigers from Athens, with 5.5 to go third quarter here. Larry Bowie checks into the Georgia backfield. He's been a big part of the offense today. Ward going to go for Bryce Hunter, and he made the catch. All day that pass is available. Man-to-man coverage. They found a little place to attack it. They've been going post corner. Larry Melton, no help. You just throw the ball to the sideline. It's very safe. Man outside, just throw it up. Ice comes back, catches the ball, and he says, this is just like Eric Sire. I like this offense. Eric's got a better right hand, though. Ward is playing on sheer guts at the 24. Officially for Bryce Hunter, his first catch of the day, but he had a touchdown taken away in the second quarter. On the 24, it's Kirksey on a toss through. And Kirksey goes for about 5 in a hurry before he's run out. Spikes and McGee make the hit. I'll tell you, Hines Ward, I give him so much credit in this football game. I mean, every snap is hurting him. After every quarterback-center exchange, he winces in pain. When that ball is snapped up to him, that hurts his right hand. See how it hits it right there? Whoa, that hurts right there. And he pitches the ball back, and then he just grabs it and winces in pain. The thing you notice right there is the separation of that right hand from the center's butt right there. He's starting to anticipate the pain. That could be a problem later on. Second down and 4. Kirksey wrapped up by Brumbaugh. And no gain on the play. Might have lost a little bit as we check in with Adrian.
One thing that has put a smile on the face of Hines Ward down here is the communication that he has with Bryce Hunter. Now, he feels that he owes Hunter one. Hunter feels he deserves one because I'm standing right next to the spot where he dragged that knee down. Inside the 20, they've made a little deal here. His primary receiver, guess who?
Hey, Adrian, is there a mark down there like in tennis where he put his knee down?
There is, but if I go out there, the man in the striped shirt's going to push me off the field again.
Here's a big third down and 4 for Georgia. 4 wideouts for Ward from the shotgun.
Watch the quarterback draw here. Be a good call.
Kirksey on the draw instead. And he cuts outside. Torrin Kirksey. Touchdown. What a way to go over 100 yards on the day. 18 yards for the touchdown.
You know, I thought they might hit the quarterback draw here, but you know what? Georgia, Kirksey might be the next quarterback. So it really could be. You never know who's going to play quarterback. Nice call, I think, from Wayne McDuffie that time, sensing that Auburn was going to attack and come in with a counter punch.
We got a beauty going between the hedges as Torrin Kirksey goes for the score and cuts the Auburn lead to 3.
The BLT, it's an American classic. But how can you make it more interesting? Well, you can make it exotic. You can make it friendly. You can even make it finger food. But if you're Taco Bell, you make it a taco. Introducing the BLT Soft Taco and 2 other classic bacon tastes loaded with bacon. The Bacon Cheeseburger Burrito and the Chicken Club Burrito. The Taco Bell Sizzlin' Bacon menu starting at 99 cents. But hurry, unlike most classics, they won't be around for long.
I hate bugs.
Roaches, I'm petrified with them. Sears Pest Control's 7-step treatment will rid your home of bugs for a full year.
Once a year is convenient, effective.
Sears comes one time, does their job, and that's the end of it.
The technician went everywhere.
Very thorough.
There were no fumes, no odors, no mess. 4 years, 4 visits, no bugs.
For free inspection, call Sears Pest Control today.
Sears is a good thing.
ESPN Football Fanatics Sweepstakes, sponsored by Visa, to win a trip for 2 to Super Bowl 30 or one of hundreds of other prizes.
God, I love football.
Watch this week's ESPN Sunday Night NFL game between Denver and Philadelphia.
And no end zone fans.
Call the 800 number displayed during the third quarter and answer a question about the game or enter on ESPN Net Sports Zone.
I'm telling you, it's a wonderful thing.
The ESPN Football Fanatics Sweepstakes, sponsored by Visa, the official card of the NFL.
There are some hedgehogs in Athens, Georgia today. And when you say a little off the sides, I don't think they meant to take the whole thing home. What a game we got going, though. Auburn by 3 is Baker on the kick return. And he gets tagged pretty well as he got out to the 26-yard line. Let's check in with Adrian.
Well, Brad, we've mentioned between the hedges since 1929. You say to go and watch a game between the hedges, everyone has known you're going to stand in between these English privet hedges. Bloody good. It has been here since the first game against Yale. Now, this is what's left of the hedges. I didn't know that gardening was such a popular event here in Georgia, so I decided to chime in.
There you go.
There you have it.
Plant that one up in Wisconsin. It might have a chance there. First down for the 27. The toss, Davis. And Davis out across the 30 to the 32. You know, on the hedges situation, just so fans across the country don't start worrying about it, they took pieces of this hedge a year ago and had them replanted. Some of them are grown in Thompson, Georgia. There's some being grown in an undisclosed site in Florida. They don't want to say where. They're afraid Gator fans will get them. But those hedges have already regrown. They'll be full grown by next year when the Olympics are over and replanted here, and it'll be hedges 2. And as Vince Dooley, the athletic director, said, they are just fine red shirts right now, but we'll have them ready by after the game. Nix to throw, incomplete, a one-hopper out to Goodson. So it'll be third down and 4. A long 4 coming up.
I have to admit, you know, I played football my whole life up north, and this rivalry is a bit confusing to me because it's so intense. Yet next week's rivalry, Alabama for Auburn and Georgia Tech for Georgia, is just as big. It's probably the most unique rivalry in the United States because next week's even bigger.
Third down, huge for both teams, even though we got a long way to go. Nix fires wide open. And a first down out to the 47-yard line to Eric Lowe. 14-yard pass play. And Auburn is 9 of 12 on third down, and that is helping them.
They're 41% on the year, and that time it was pretty easy. Number 58, Frank Watts from the left side gets grabbed as he goes inside that time by Victor Riley, number 68. Easy pitch to the outside that time to Lowe, and a first down for this Auburn offense. And I think Terry Bowden and Tommy Bowden know they're going to have a tough time stopping Georgia. They need points, they need points, they need points.
First and 10 at the 47. Nix throws short. Goodson. And Goodson makes a nice move to get it into Georgia territory at the 47. Greg Bright made the tackle. Coming up later, we'll be selecting our Visa players of the game. And we've got 2.5 minutes. 2:32 with the clock stopped as Greg Bright is injured on the play for Georgia. Last year, these teams battled to a 23-23 tie. Georgia was down 2 touchdowns and came back to tie that game. A game that many people feel maybe saved Ray Goff's job last year, to be quite honest with you. And it snapped the long winning streak of Terry Bowden.
I think the unusual thing in this series is the visiting team has been more successful than the home team. Auburn is a 13-8 record here at Georgia, and the opposite, Georgia's 9-7-2 at Auburn. A lot of neutral site games.
That's right. Second down and 4. Davis waited for his blockers, found a hole, and off the left side blasts to the 40. And a first down for the Tigers.
I think that's the best run that Stephen Davis made in this football game. When you're trying to run between the tackles and you have great patience, that's really when you show that you're an outstanding running back and have the ability to take those plays that are 5 and 6 yards and make them into 10, 15, 20-yard runs. Davis is really showing the confidence in his running game as this game is progressing. He's getting more carries.
So first down for Auburn. Georgia jumped into the neutral zone. Looked like Keith Drayton fell out of his stance and made contact with Auburn, but let's wait and see the call. And long to discussion about what seemed obvious.
At the snap, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Stephen Davis has had a pretty good day, but when you think about Torrin Kirksey, wow. Davis had the 2 touchdowns to give Auburn a 13-0 lead before Georgia came back.
But I think the most important thing to point out in this one is, yes, the 112 yards by Kirksey, but 15 rushes, and they've still got another quarter to go. Davis becoming a feature in this offense because of the weather tonight, and he's coming through.
With a penalty, it's 1st and 5, and here is Davis on the toss. And he just carries Daniels with him. Very close to a first down. As you can see, with the field conditions, it rained. It started raining about 11 o'clock last night, and it really didn't stop until earlier today. And then the temperature went from maybe 60-something last night down to about 41 right now. So we've had the full gambit of weather conditions here in the Deep South. Second down, a long yard. Davis, Georgia stretches it out and drops it. Jason Ferguson with a nice play from his defensive line spot. Ferguson, the Georgia coaches think can be a premier player. It's just going to take some time.
That, and they said they'd like to see him drop maybe 5 or 10 pounds and get him in there so he could be that much better of a pass rusher. But that's been the key to this Georgia team this year, is the emergence of the defensive line. Tommy Bowden said it's the best pass rushing defensive line he's seen at Georgia in 10 years.
They've never had this kind of depth on their front line since I can remember.
Here comes the short yardage hurry up.
Damien Craig pitches. Davis, wide open field. Look out, he might go. Corey Johnson saves a touchdown. 27 yards for Davis.
Remember, early in this football game, they were not coming with this change-up offense with their goal line package with Craig in there. Davis coming off tackle this time. Great blocking by the offensive line, especially Jesse McCovey, number 80, the tight end. And boy, there goes Davis and showing his speed around the corner. And Johnson's very fortunate to even hog tie him down at the 6-yard line.
That's where it's 1st and goal for Auburn. Davis will go out, and Morrow will come in. Morrow and Beasley in the I backfield now for the Tigers, who are up by 3 with 3 seconds left in the quarter. Making the pitch is Craig, and he's got a man wide open. Touchdown. Jesse McCovery on a touchdown catch.
Those are tough 6 yards to go against a good Georgia defensive run team. I think this is a great call on 1st down. Fake the pitch. Remember how successful the pitch has been. They've scored running that pitch to the left side. Then you come back, slide your tight end out in the flat. Terry Bowden and Tommy Bowden pulled one out of their hat. Easy 6 points.
Matt Hawkins for the point after. Into the 3rd quarter as the extra point sails through. Into 3, and Auburn stretches its lead back to
10. We've painted the morning sun in Santa Barbara that burns away those blue-gray mists that cool the coastal vines and brighten all the colors in the grapes that go to make a brighter shade of Chardonnay. Meridian Chardonnay, raised in California's sunlight, aged in French oak. This is the art of Meridian. The bright, rich flavors in every glass of Meridian Chardonnay.
We wanted the LHS to be the kind of car that, even when you're not driving it, you're thinking about driving it. It really was designed to spoil you in every way. An aggressive 214 horsepower engine in front of you, luxury amenities all around. Once you drive an LHS, it's not something you'll soon forget.
Todd and Celia Unger began their voyage together nearly 40 years ago. Today, they embark on retirement as carefree as when they first set out. That's because for the past 20-some years, they've worked with a broker from I'm Dean Witter. Respect the power of a client's dream and help them achieve it. At Dean Witter, we measure success one investor at a time.
We'll never get the copier fixed before the meeting.
It's handled.
If your office equipment ever breaks down, no matter where you are in the business world, remember, nobody responds like Danka. Only Danka offers copiers, fax machines, and digital systems with this world-class commitment to service.
How'd you get here so fast?
I took a few shortcuts.
Danka, world-class products, world-class service.
Kelly Springfield, we've been making tires for over 100 years. And at our ripe old age, you might think we'd start to slow down.
Ha! That chance.
Kelly Springfield, America's oldest tire company.
Well, whether you call them the Tigers or the War Eagles or the Plainsmen, it's Auburn, no matter how you slice it. And there's a cheer that goes, I can't quite remember. I think it's Wiggle, Wiggle, War Damn Eagle, or something to that effect. But they just scored another touchdown. 34-24. My apologies to the Auburn folks if I trashed that cheer, but I have heard it before. Hawkins kicks it out of bounds. Georgia will take it at the 35.
The last touchdown, remember, the toss worked so well before when they were down there. This time, fake toss, Damian Craig hits the tight end, Jesse McCovey, that time for an easy touchdown. I thought it was a great call. First and goal from the 6 is 6 tough yards. And Auburn, the ball just put up there. Very safe throw to the outside. Auburn ahead by 10.
They give everybody a chance to get involved on offense here.
7 different players have run the ball, and 9 different receivers have caught passes tonight on this offense. That really keeps you off balance. That's what's so tough for Joe Kynes, the defensive coordinator, to stop.
That was the 9th receiver. You saw there, number 80, McGovery, the tight end, for that last touchdown to cap the 73-yard march. Ward's going up on top for one. Daniels got it.
No,
he dropped it.
I think that hit the ground. It was a nice trap.
And Ward is, as you can see, hurt again.
He got pasted first time from Terry Solomon, number 44, coming right up the gut that time. Threw the ball up. He needed one of those outfielder's mitts to come up with the catch that time. Chipper Jones style.
This kid is totally banged up. He's still out there.
And totally tough. They wanted to go deep. Man-to-man coverage again to the outside. Del McGee, you see the ball hit the turf just at the same time. And Daniels comes up with it from the backside, and then he's hit from the front side at the same time.
By Mark
Smith. Kind of squashed by Mark Smith.
2nd and 10. Little draw play to Kirksey, who's been the big guy on the ground today for Georgia. Wrapped up by Houston, the true freshman who's really going to be a dandy. 6'1", 202.
Number 3 tackler on the football team coming into this game. You know, there's 4 different true freshmen that will play for this Auburn defensive backfield. One of them start, and 3 of them is in the 2-day chart. And Torrin Kirsty has been having his success running the ball left. Remember, that big play, though, on the draw was to the left. That ball could have popped anywhere.
Kirsty with 115 yards on 17 carries and a touchdown. From the spread. Hines Ward, here comes a blitz from the secondary. Down the middle of Bryce Hunter to midfield and a first down. Pick up of 12. Dan Evans made the tackle.
Well, you give a guy a chance to play, Mike Bobo and Brian Smith, you might not get your job back. I think he's just looking like he's going to be an outstanding SEC quarterback. He throws fine, well enough. And remember, he's doing it with no spring practice, a bad hand, and he's gaining his confidence. And he looks like he's a real threat. He reminds me of a Charlie Ward, you know, the way he can move the ball around in this offense.
No relation to Charlie Ward, by the way.
No, but I think he throws the ball as well.
Hines going to go deep again for Daniels. And he can't quite run under it.
That's going to be a tough pass to throw against those corners because they're playing heavy inside and they're taking away that post pass. The outside pass is a much easier pass to complete unless Del McGee has changed his spikes. But you'll see he's trying to step inside. He's going to play the post all day. That ball has to be thrown shorter to the inside.
And remember, the wind has died a bit, but he's still throwing into it.
Yeah, I don't think it's much of of a factor any longer, though, Brad.
Not like it was at the beginning of the game. From the shotgun, 2nd and 10. Down the middle, Hunter again on a crossing pattern, and another first down, Georgia, to the 36-yard line as we check in with Mike Tirico.
Brad, 2 bowl bids clinched today. East Carolina is going to the Liberty Bowl. Toledo is going to the Las Vegas Bowl. They win the MAC with Sean Tate, the nation's 2nd leading rusher. 202 yards today and 2 touchdowns. You'll see the Las Vegas Bowl December 14th on ESPN.
All right, Mike, these 2 teams need wins to stay in bowl contention as well. Auburn needs a win in one of its final 2 games, this or the Alabama game. Georgia likewise to stay in the thick of things. Torrin Kirksey on a toss. Kirksey in the open field. Down the sideline, 1 man to beat, and he does. Touchdown.
Boy, a little talented tailback there from a true freshman, huh? Turned the corner, and he just went. Got a hold. Didn't get called by the center that time, David Weeks. But if they don't call him, they don't count. Torrin Kirksey turned the corner, and he was gone. And again, Auburn is gambling with the blitz, and they got burnt.
Parkman's extra point is good. Reason to woof again if you're a Bulldog fan. Kirksey's got 151 yards and 2 touchdowns, and we've got a 1-touchdown game.
This is the new Civic sedan from Honda. More room, more refined, more luxury, more Civic. It's not often that within 30 seconds, you can make a revolution.
The family of the future will have many hundreds of television channels.
Gee, mister, won't that be confusing?
Not with this, a video guide. It'll let them see what's on 7 days into the future, or what's on right now. It'll give them instant news and sports scores. And with just 1 touch, they'll even be able to tape record their favorite television shows. Don't forget the tape.
So what do you think they'd call this video guide?
Video guide. It's about time.
At BASF, we don't make the cooler. We make it cooler. We don't make the jeans. We make them bluer. We don't make the toys. We make them tougher. We don't make the water scooter. We make it lighter. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
Let me correct myself. I may have said a 1-touchdown game going to break. A 1-field-goal game is what we've got. 34-31. Thanks to Kirksey's 36-yard romp. Now we've got 13:06 left in the ball game from Athens. Parkman to kick. It'll be Robert Baker again from the 5. Baker up the middle and out to the 34-yard line. Good return, about a 29-yard return.
Remember, I told you that David Weeks, I thought I had a hold on Jimmy Brumbaugh, number 96. Brumbaugh's in a slant to the outside. He's got his right hand hold to the back of the jersey. His left hand holds the left part of the jersey for Brumbaugh. All of a sudden, the corner is turned, and boy, that's a tough one when you're playing nose tackle and you've got that stunt to the outside and you get held, but you get away with it if you do it well. Injury on the play. That's McCovey who scored the touchdown last time when Auburn had it down there 1st and goal from the 6.
So McCovery's helped off, and the Auburn offense comes on with exactly 13 minutes to play and a 3-point lead. Nix in trouble, incomplete. And a nice job coming in there by Phil Benton to put the heat on the Auburn quarterback. ESPN's presentation of Saturday Night CFA brought to you by Honda, who offers an impressive family of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans. And by Video Guide, the on-TV program guide with news, weather, and sports. It's about time. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, and Adrian Karsten in a great SEC battle, the oldest rivalry in the Deep South, and it's producing a dandy between Auburn and Georgia. Nix, oh, almost intercepted. Buster Owens would have taken that for a touchdown, but he couldn't find the handle.
Tyrone Goodson's going to be coming off the field. I can guarantee you that. He busted it. Number 83, the sophomore, was going down to block. Nix was going to throw it. And that one was almost disaster. Nix is throwing a hitch. Goodson is running to block. He did not hear the audible. And Buster Owens, if that ball would have been thrown a little lower, was going to change it.
Auburn in their 4 wideout set on 3rd down and 10. Sanford Stadium is rocking right now. Deep middle. Almost an acrobatic catch by Goodson. They went right back to him, but it's incomplete.
And I like to see that. That's the way you have to do it. You did not hear the audible, come right down to the middle of him, down the middle of the field.
And for the first time since the 2nd quarter, we'll see a punt.
Double zone, one of the few double zones that Georgia has run all day. The way to attack it is throw the ball to the middle of the field. It was thrown pretty well, just out of the reach.
Gary, you know you got a fun game when you go 13 drives without a punt.
Well, you don't have to convince me of that. It has been as entertaining as I've seen all year.
Matt Hawkins to punt, and he hit it a mile. Chris McCraney goes half the way to the Clark County line to field that one. And comes back to the 16, a 51-yard kick and a 3-yard return. Coming up on Wednesday, get ready for some preseason NIT hoops. 7:30, we'll get it going from down the road in Atlanta. Georgia Tech takes on Manhattan, then DePaul and the Wolverines. And Weber State and Fresno State at midnight. Don't forget on the Deuce at 8:30, it's Long Beach State and Arizona. Preseason NIT, a lot of it coming up Wednesday on ESPN and ESPN2. That dog fan, no doubt, listening to the legendary Larry Munson call the game on radio. And I'm sure Munson's almost having a heart attack over there on this one. Loose ball. Auburn has it. Just a bad handoff. No. The exchange was no good. Right. And Mostella with a fumble recovery.
Curtsy slipped, Brad. Just as Hines Ward was going to try to slip him the ball, Curtsy slipped on the play, and that's why the ball ended up on the ground. Right side of your screen, you're going to see Curtsy stumble on the play. There it is on the ball, on the ground. Second time a turnover inside the 20-yard line. Auburn is going to have it. You'll see him slip just as the handoff was going to be made. The ball is being let loose, and that's the kind of turnover that Ray Goff said could kill us, and this one might.
Both times in about the same spot, and last time they turned it into a Stephen Davis touchdown in the first half. Davis in there at the tail of the eye. Here he comes. Got to the 11, give him 3. Jason Ferguson and Greg Wright make the tackle.
What a great defense this Georgia defense is, stopping the run inside. Steve Davis has had to earn every yard. They've hit the screen pass for a long play. Then they had that short yardage play that popped through over a long play. Otherwise, they've been able to stop this powerful running attack. Auburn leads the league in rushing in the SEC, and they've been able to stop it cold here tonight.
Under 12 minutes to play. Auburn leading by 3. And a 2nd down and 7 at the Bulldogs' 11-yard line. Play fake by Nix. Wants to go to the end zone. Tipped by Whit Marshall. And that saved a touchdown right there, I think.
That's one of the best stories on this Georgia football team. The senior Whit Marshall signed at Georgia as a safety. Came here weighing 202 pounds. 4 years later, he's starting at senior linebacker. And one of the stories that even his coach, Jack Hines, said is really good about college football. He reads it quickly, plays the run, gets back into his zone, exactly reading the quarterback's eyes, jumps up with this 12-inch vertical and makes the play.
The 12-inch vertical.
Sorry, Whit. I hope he's not taping it, but I'm sure he is.
3rd down and 7 from the 4 wideout offense. Nix. And it's batted down again. Jermaine Smith got this one. 2 huge defensive plays by Smith and Marshall, and it'll force a field goal attempt for Auburn.
Tell me this game isn't about emotion and intensity and what a rivalry is all about. Both the Auburn team and the Georgia team just playing it all out, and There's other ways of saying it, but they're playing it all out.
They sure are. 28-yard field goal attempt coming up from Matt Hawkins. He's had a couple blocked this year. But this one is up and right through there. Terry Bowden looks up. The fumble recovery turns into 3 points and a 6-point lead.
Recently, the Broncos and 49ers showcased their talents in Tokyo.
Love is a many splendored thing.
At Zone West Karaoke.
Your man. Blame it on the bossa nova.
Crook it out.
The dance of love.
Where the players brought no ability to carry a tune, but did bring their Visa card.
Was it the moon?
Because Zone West can accept just about anything except American Express.
Everybody sing. It's the April rose that only...
Remember, it's not only how fast you can go, it's also where you can go. The new Honda Passport with standard dual airbags and one powerful V6 engine.
Hello there. Okay, board. Who thinks Dion should play wide receiver?
Fade back. He's got Dion wide open. What a catch!
I hope Coach Schwitzer's checking this out.
Football according to Dion. Primetime NFL. Sports.
Most new car radiators are made of aluminum, as thin as the top of this can. But Prestone Antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming the Prestone zone of protection against corrosion. It's your car. Protect it in the Prestone zone.
The Alabama Crimson Tide roll into Auburn to tackle the Tigers at 5:30. Then the Air Force Falcons play host to Notre Dame at 8:30. Next Saturday on ESPN.
Maybe the biggest football game of Ray Goff's career as a coach, and the class with which he's handled that fact, I think you have to tip your cap, be it Georgia or Auburn colored. 37-31. Auburn leads. The Dogs will have it. Kirby Smart with a kick return. And Smart got out to the 30. Nice return. Spikes makes the tackle on the special teams. Let's check in with Adrian Carson.
Well, Brad, very honestly, there's only one other person besides Terry Bowden down here with that kind of energy. About the same size, though, as a matter of fact. Lindsey Goff, daughter of Ray, on that last critical third down series. Take a look at this. She's got the whole Georgia side of the stadium here up on their feet, jumping up and down like she is. Her sister Allison is up in the press box with her mother, celebrates her birthday in about 4 days, really couldn't care much less.
Lindsey's got it working on the sideline.
She knew what it was all about. A tip pass on third down, you celebrate.
First down for the Dogs from the 30. And penalty markers. They run out of time.
Delay
yes, they did.
Game. You know, I don't see where this is that big of a game for Ray Goff to me. I mean, you know, it would be a farce if they moved Ray Goff out of this job. I mean, what do they want? You know, I went through this with you and I went through this with John Cooper a couple years. The guy turns around and now he's got the #2 team in the country. Ray Goff can coach. Leave him alone for 5 years or 6 years and let him coach.
First down at 15. 11:26 left in the ball game. Kurtzing in motion from the Dogs backfield. Hines Ward in trouble. Throws on the run, and it is almost intercepted, and a penalty marker down. Now, is that going to be an offense one way or the other? Interference, I should say, one way or the other.
Well, the intended receiver that time was Bryce Hunter, number 88. I think Larry Melton, they're wondering if he went right through the receiver to go to the ball. I think that'd be a tough call that time on Auburn. You may be right. It might be offense.
Illegal touching on the offense. Receiver went out of bounds and came back in to play. Walks him down, second down.
One of the receivers apparently was knocked out of bounds and then came back in. And then you don't touch the football. You don't see that one called much.
Bryce Hunter, number 88, is the guy who goes out of bounds right there. He's just ineligible. It really is not going to add anything. It was an incomplete pass anyway, so it's still 2nd and 15. But Bryce, Hines Ward takes another hit, and You know, it's just like playing wide receiver sometime, Hines. You catch him in the mouth.
He's done that too. Deep middle, got a man. Juan Daniels, first down, Georgia out to the 42-yard line.
I don't want to hear any of this. His hands are too small routine anymore. This guy can play quarterback. He's got a hand that's half broken. He has had no experience, and he's throwing, I think, the best route in football, the crossing route over the middle, and he puts it right on the numbers. His receivers are going to come back and say, we can throw all day.
18 yards, and this one is thrown as well as he's tossed it today. You're right, Gary. First down to Daniels, out to the 42.
I thought he'd have a good football game as he's gained confidence with the offense, and now the staff is gaining confidence in him.
Here's a give inside, and twisting out to the 50 is Selma Callaway. Flag down.
Looks like they're going to add some more yards to this one.
Might be a late hit. And that'll take it all the way down inside the Auburn 40.
I can promise you Ray Goff couldn't throw as well as Hines Ward when
he didn't throw this many passes in 3 years as a starting quarterback at Georgia.
Terry Bowden right now is feeling a defense that can't stop this Georgia offense, and he knows he needs more points to win this game, as Hines Ward is back to 50%, and Terry's going, I don't know if we can stop him.
First down, Georgia at the Auburn 35-yard line. Pressure from the backside, and down he goes. Marcellus Mostella with a sack. I was just going to say, Georgia, when Auburn has blitzed today, has come up with big plays, but not when things happen this fast on you.
This was a play-action pass. I don't think they felt they were blitzing this time. They didn't get a pre-read on it. Nice job. Wayne Hall's just dialing up at him every time. He says, we can't stop you in the zone. We can't stop the run. Did you see a little bit of a missed assignment that time by Adam Meadows, number 71? And that's really one of the things that I think Georgia's done well in this game, is not bust any assignments on the blitz. Nobody's been coming free.
Mostella with his 5th sack of the year there. They're going to blitz again right here on 2nd and long. Ward's going to take off on his own, and he gets all the way down to the 31-yard line. I didn't think he had any kind of room, but he found a way to go 11 yards.
Well, and the problem for Hines is he doesn't know whether to cover up his wrist or the ball when he gets down there.
And now he's limping.
Well, tough luck. You're going to have to play. You got to finish out the game. This game's too close. What a beautiful scramble this time. Keeps Auburn off balance, and now 3rd and 5 and 6. I think they're in 4-down territory, so you could see the draw play called again.
4 wideouts.
It's not going to be, though. They don't have the running back in.
Going to have to be a quarterback draw if it's anything.
Right.
Down the middle, Hunter. He's got a first down with forward progress to the 24-yard line. He needed to get to the 25.
This is what it's seen. One of the best performances I've ever seen by a quarterback. There you see his center, the senior center, Dave Weeks, coming up and saying, I love you, man. And he's not asking for a beer right now either.
And Harry Dog says, let's keep pounding away. First down, Georgia.
No magic. Here they come again.
Kurtzik. Oh, head on. About 2 yards. And Del McGee and Kurtzik went helmet to helmet. Ray Goff in his 7th year. He's 2-3-1 against Auburn. And he was 2-1 against Auburn as a quarterback in the mid-70s.
You know, a lot of people were wondering why Terry Bowden didn't go for 2 on one of those tries, but I think it was a good move, because had he not kicked that field goal and missed one of those 2-point plays, a field goal would have beat him. So I think he played the odds right, but it may come back to haunt him here because of the 2 field goals he's kicked later. It just doesn't look good. But I think he made the right moves strategically.
Ward on a blitz got it down the middle to his tight end, Larry Brown, who's maybe a length of the football short of another Georgia first down. Don't forget another game in the SEC, and boy, if Ron and Mike can have one like we've got, more power to them. Florida and South Carolina next.
They were supposed to have the passing game. We were supposed to have the running game. But I know one thing, they're going to set a record for least number quarterback center exchanges in that game. It's going to be all shotgun.
Third down and less than a yard. Georgia trailing by 6 at the 8-minute mark. Kurtzy, first down, Georgia.
Adam Meadows, the left tackle's down on this play, holding his right knee. He's had a great game, but the pit this time, inside, those offensive linemen, Weeks, inside out, Beadley's, Taylor, really pushing forward. That's the effort. They look back and see that quarterback blocking as Meadows is examined for his right knee.
He got rolled up on as he was throwing a block and was bent backward and got that leg caught in the mix. You could see it on the replay as you watched Kurtzy with a positive yardage in the first down. Meadows is up, but they're going to have to help him off. Coming up tomorrow on ESPN2, live from New York, the world's premier marathon. 27,000 from 111 countries in all 50 states. Go 26 miles through the boroughs of New York. 26th annual New York City Marathon. 10:30 a.m. tomorrow on ESPN2.
Brad, I think they'll have to cut his leg off to keep him out of this game. Meadows will be back.
First and 10 for the Dogs at the Auburn 12. Kurtzy, great play in the backfield by Mark Smith.
That's the second big play Mark Smith has made in this football game. He just attacked that time. And who did he beat? The new guy in there, David Powell. He rushed right across the new tackle, number 78. Look, he got off the ball late. Mark Smith beat him across the head right there. The new tackle, the change, made a difference that time. And guess who's back on the football field? Adam Meadows, number 71. He's got to go.
He brings it up with a serious hitch in the giddy-up, and he can't even get in a stance, but he's going to play. From the gun, second and long, Kurtzy draw play to the 10.
He is really limping. I don't know if he's going to be able to go. Adam Meadows, he's given it a try, but I just don't know if he can do it. It might be better off for the football team that he doesn't do it. There you see him coming out. He's limping. He tightened up his knee brace and said he was okay. And as I said, sometimes those offensive linemen say, hey, if it's not going to get cut off, I can play. But he is really limping.
And now a timeout taken by Auburn. Meadows will try to walk it off. Hines Ward will trot off to talk things over on the Georgia sideline with 6:26 left to go.
Over time, luxury car prices tend to change. Since its introduction, the base price of the Lexus LS400 has increased over 52%. The Infiniti Q45 has increased over 39%, while the Mercedes-Benz E-Class has decreased by 4%. You already know that Mercedes-Benz is the perfect luxury automobile. Now you know that perfection is within reach. Isn't it time for you to test drive a Mercedes-Benz at Jack Ingram Motors?
Located next to Montgomery Mall, Bishop Parker Furniture offers quality home furnishings at a price for every budget. With thousands of exceptional pieces in stock and featuring a complete line of accessories, Bishop Parker carries the finest name brands, including Baker, Hickory Chair, Simmons, Karastan, and Meadowcraft. Quality furnishings, affordable prices, and outstanding customer service have kept Bishop Parker your favorite furniture store for over 70 years. On sale now at Bishop Parker, beautiful traditional sofas priced from $5.99 to $7.99.
Year's Winston Cup chase is down to its last lap. But before they give the crown to Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt and NASCAR Field will be running hard in Atlanta to see who'll take the last checkers of 95. The Napa 500, tomorrow at 12:40, only on ESPN. Tomorrow, John Elway and the Broncos take aim at the new-look Eagles when they clash in Philly in a key interconference shootout.
This is going to be a wonderful game. Just wonderful.
Number 1 and 2 have won by 38 today. What will number 3 do? Danny Werfel and the Perfect Gators against the Cox after we're done between the hedges.
6:26 left in Athens at Sanford Stadium. And how much does Georgia and guys like Adam Meadows have left? They trail by 6. 12th play of the drive. Longest drive by either team so far. And now it's 3rd down and 7. They can get a first down inside the 3.
I'd like to see the quarterback draw.
Here comes pressure on Ward. Throws as he's hit. Incomplete. And it's 4th down.
Well, I think if they would have brought up any type of yardage that time, they would have gone for it on 4th down, but I think they have to kick the field goal here and make it a 3-point game. I think this is great strategy. Keep the pressure on Auburn. Meadows got that bad leg, got a little bit of a blow that time, but you can see he's not moving well. Beat inside that time by Mark Smith again. He is not moving well to the outside, even though he got a little bit of a rest with the timeout.
And now Georgia takes a timeout as Parkman has already come on the field, and you have to wonder if the Dogs are going to rethink their strategy. We'll find out when we come back. 6:22 left, and Auburn leads by 6.
Cheers. Introducing the new Civic from Honda. More room, more refined, more luxury. The new Civic from Honda.
Wrangler jeans have always been worn by cowboys. But nowadays, even horses wear them. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
Wrangler, the perfect jean for your 10-year-old son. And your 10-year-old husband. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
John, oh, he's off on business. Oh, that's nice. Hey, the guy deserves a rest. A week on the road, seeing the sights, dining out.
Ever notice how business trips are more fun for those not taking them?
I say, let him enjoy himself. It'll be fun. Absolutely.
Courtyard is the hotel designed by business travelers. Nobody's better equipped to help you relax and retool.
Oh, Mr. Bowen, your wife called.
Thanks. For all that fun you're supposed to be having.
Courtyard by Marriott.
Ray Goff has decided to go for it on 4th down. 4th and 7 from the 10. I don't think he wants a tie. That's what happened last year, 23-23. If he took a field goal, it would set up for a possibility of another tie. Ray Goff wants to win it right here. Ward overshot his receiver, intended for Bryce Hunter.
Well, the only reason I thought he should have gone with his first thought right there is now Auburn can come back, and a field goal puts the game away. It makes it a 9-point lead. 6 minutes is a lot of time left, and otherwise, if you get it to within 3, a field goal doesn't mean anything.
What I think Ray's thinking is, as we take a look at Ward trying to get it to Hunter, and he had him actually open, but he would have had to really thread that thing. I think Ray Goff is thinking right now, my defense has played pretty well. Let's get it back, and we'll get the touchdown to win.
He might.
That's the gamble he's playing with.
I just think 4th and 9 from the 9 is really tough.
Now it's up to the Georgia defense as Auburn has a 6-point lead and things in their favor except their position on the field. Davis. Davis goes quickly out to the 18. Sims made the tackle. And now the clock will become Auburn's ally if they can continue to pick up some first down.
Terry Bowden hasn't felt comfortable, I don't think, with Stephen Davis and play calling all year, but he's going to feel comfortable having him back there right now. 5 minutes to go. He needs probably 3 first downs. And remember, Terry Bowden needs a win. They have 6 wins already this season, but one of them doesn't count. It wasn't against a 1AA team.
Stephen Davis, 2 touchdowns on the day.
Clock, make first downs.
He's closing in on 100 yards. They'll give it to him going the other way. Whit Marshall made first contact. It's going to be very close to an Auburn first down.
I think they got about a yard to go. It just barely crossed the line. They got about a half a yard to go. They're going to measure maybe closer than, oh, they got a good spot. A very good spot.
And they're going to bring the chains out to have a look. As they stretch it out, it is first down Auburn. Remember, Auburn, as Gary mentioned, 6-3, but look at that second week of the season. That 76-10 doesn't do you much good.
No, the UT Chattanooga does not count as a win. You need 6 wins Next week they play Alabama. That's no guarantee. I think Auburn has to win this football game. Probably have to win both of them, but they definitely have to win this football game to get a bowl. And Terry Bowden, or anybody on that Auburn football team's never been to a bowl.
If they win out, it might be the Peach Bowl in Atlanta that they would go to. They planned on going to a game in Atlanta, but they'd hoped it would be the SEC title game. And that will not be the case because Florida and Arkansas will decide that matchup in the Georgia Dome. And now we're under 5 minutes. Let's check in quickly with Mike Tirico. Mike?
All right, just a reminder, Steve Tannehill and the Gamecocks getting ready for the Gators. They're tossing the coin right now. We'll keep you updated throughout the finish of our game.
Here in the SEC, thrilling game, 37-31 Auburn.
So much riding on it, too, if you believe a lot of the people here. I don't. I think Ray Goff's back.
Davis over 100 yards on the day down. Nix comes up throwing. Gaucher with a catch, and he's got another Auburn first down. Keeps it inbounds, and the clock will wind its way after they move the sticks under 4 minutes.
Patrick Nix, the senior, wants one last drive here. Take them down, take time off the clock, just move the chains.
4 minutes from South Carolina and Florida, and 4 of the biggest minutes of the year for the Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers. Georgia, as it's starting to appear, if Auburn can keep grinding it here, needs a turnover or a big play. And now you'd think they'll just go back to the ground game to Davis. Well, it's going to be the first man instead, McLeod. And Greg Bright makes the tackle on McLeod as he gets it out to the 37-yard line.
Georgia gets a stop here. They probably will take a timeout. They only have 2 timeouts left. And I don't know if they can afford to burn all 25 seconds in this situation. I think they would take a timeout before 4th down if they get a stop on 3rd down.
2nd down at 7. Georgia brings up some folks as if to blitz. They will. Davis short of a first down.
3rd and short. You wonder if you come with Damian Craig now, who's been so successful on 3rd and short. Do you switch quarterbacks in this situation and come with that goal line offense?
He's strapping it up over there and looking at the coaches. Here he goes.
It's been so successful. Why not? Match you up. Joe Kynes matches up. He gets his goal line defense out there.
I hope Damian Craig's hands aren't as cold as mine are. 3rd down. I don't know. 2nd effort. I don't think so, but it's going to be very close. Beasley needed to get about 1.5 yards.
They need to stop it now for a measurement, and if it's not made...
You think Lindsey Goff's not into it?
She knows as much strategy as anybody in the stands. Looking up at the clock, checking the timeouts and everything.
Let's check in with Mike Tirico. Mike.
All right, let's take you to Columbia. On the right, Steve Florio has it on the tee for South Carolina, but it's blowing off the tee because there's a 30-mile-an-hour wind in Columbia. The wind chill is 30 degrees, temperature 45. Let's go back to Athens for the measurement and Brad and Gary.
That much short, Mike Tirico, about a foot short. Prayers on the sideline from a daughter.
Tell you what Auburn will do here now. Patrick Nix will try to draw him off sides, and then if he thinks he has a play, he'll call a live color like an indicator, like green, and then it'll be on 2 after that, and he likes to run the ball to the fullback. The only reason I can tell you that is Joe Kynes told me all that before the game, so he's aware of it, and it appears they're going to punt, not take a chance.
And now Georgia will get its punt group out there. Actually, they're going to have to take a timeout.
Oh, that one hurts.
Georgia will have to take a timeout.
Now, Georgia better be very careful. If I was Auburn and Terry Bowden, I'd take my punt team back to the sideline
and make them think some more.
Make them think some more.
2 minutes and 23 seconds left, and a 4th down at about a foot coming up for Auburn with their punt team on the field.
And I'll tell you, he's got second thoughts about it right now. He's going to do that. He's going to bring his group right there. And what that'll do is force Georgia to keep their defense on the field, even if there is a punt. They're going to have to keep their regular defense on the field and play it safe, even if Auburn comes back with a punt team.
Danny Werfel in Florida on the right, underway against the Gamecocks. And on the left, it is Auburn and Georgia.
The timeout might have talked and given time for Terry Bowden to go for the play.
Damian Craig's in at quarterback.
Let's see if he tries to draw him off first.
They only need about a foot. Craig himself. Oh, if he's got it, he's only got it by about the length of the football.
I think that was a good gamble by Terry Bowden. It was only a football that he had to pick up, and you've got a quarterback that's 6'2", 190 pounds jumping over. And I think he picked it up.
Auburn brings out its regular unit, including Nix. But they are going to bring the sticks in.
Not only that, they burned a timeout by Georgia doing it.
That's the one that might kill Georgia, is that timeout. First down, Auburn.
It's easy to sit up here out of the action and say they should have just kept their defense out in the first place and taken the punt no matter where it rolled. But, you know, you try to get your unit out there, and Ray Goff is clapping, saying we need a stop, we need a turnover, we need a hit.
And now the clock on the favor of the Auburn Tigers sideline, because Georgia's only got one time left to stop it. Another Auburn first down, and this thing will just about be history. Toss to Davis, and Davis breaks into the open field. It might be over right here. Ball came loose, but they blow it dead at the 16.
That's because he stepped out before he fumbled the ball and before the tackle. Alandis Sims is the guy who got him from behind, but he stepped out before the fumble. The toss to the outside. Same play. That was a big play earlier. They run the toss, but they run it off tackle. Stephen Davis runs around the corner. Let's see if he steps out before the fumble. Boy, I don't know. I didn't see him step out anywhere on that play. I don't know if the grass caused it or not. Whit Marshall ended up with the football, but I didn't see anybody step out of bounds.
At the 16-yard line, after a 40-yard run by Davis, it is first down Auburn at the Georgia 16. South Carolina and Florida are underway. We'll be taking you to that one immediately following this Auburn-Georgia matchup. Davis had a huge half. Got 2 or 3 before Ferguson can bring him down. So many injured Bulldogs this year, including their starting quarterback, Mike Bobo, and Brian Smith, who played for a time, Hines Ward, who played brilliantly today, and an old quarterback for the Dogs from the mid-70s looking on, hoping somehow, some way, his defense can come up with a big play. Davis cuts back, runs into a whole pack of dogs led by Greg Bright, and we're under a minute to play. And Georgia takes its final timeout. 58 seconds left in the game, and a big third down coming up.
Under 25, license revoked, driving without insurance. You're just the guy we're looking for. You are not ready.
Dad, wake up, Dad. Get up, Dad.
What is it, Jack?
It's Saturday.
You said you would take me to McDonald's for breakfast Saturday.
Yeah,
and you
I
said
know.
I could have an Egg McMuffin and a big juice. You said you and Mom would have pancakes and sausage and coffee. And you said you wouldn't go to work today. You said.
I know, but it's 3:30 in the morning.
Oh.
We got plenty of time, okay?
Okay. I'll be back in exactly 10 minutes.
On the Georgia sideline, Lindsey Goff looking at that clock, wishing her daddy had about 4 more minutes to play or a couple more timeouts left to work with. And it's Auburn with a 3rd down and 7 under a minute to go. Georgia out of timeouts. Auburn will play it safe. It's Davis short of the 1st down inside the 10. Terry Bowden is 47 seconds away from the win he needs to keep himself in the bowl hunt with Alabama, their arch rival, up next. This will stop the clock at about 18 seconds roughly, if they use all the clock, that is.
I would assume Patrick Nix is going to call timeout right at the 25-second clock.
And he calls it right now. And there is 18 seconds left.
Now a field goal puts it out of reach. It's just whether you take the chance on a field goal.
Tonight's Visa players of the game from Auburn. Stephen Davis, whose last run may have put this game out of any kind of reach for the Bulldogs. 152 yards and 2 touchdowns. And from Georgia, a kid that played with more guts than we have seen probably in years. Hines Ward with a bad thumb, a broken thumb, if you will, and not normally a quarterback, but he has been the last couple outings for Georgia. Their starter, 238 yards, ran for 1 and passed for 1. Our Visa players of the game, and our congratulations to those 2. Matt Hawkins in for a field goal. And now Terry Bowden want a timeout too? Yep. Timeout Auburn.
Terry can't make up his mind. He doesn't want to risk a blocked field goal right now.
He's had 2 blocked this year.
That's
and if
right.
Georgia does that and scoops it up, they could win the game.
This is the 2nd time he's changed his mind. He's going to put him back in and run a play.
37-31 here right now. Let's check in with Ron Franklin in our other game.
Okay, guys, thanks so much. You see the Florida Gators, and they are sitting the lip of the cup. It is a 2nd down and goal, and the running play to the left side, and Elijah Williams will walk in. It is 6-0 Florida. So their opening drive, Brad, they take the football and go right down the field. Let's go back to you in Athens, Georgia.
All right, Ron, thanks. Here it's Auburn on the verge of a victory, 37-31, with a 4th down and 3 at the Georgia 9-yard line.
What Auburn would do in this situation, at least I would think they'd do, is run wide, try to take as much time off the clock without, it really doesn't matter if you go out of bounds here because the clock's going to stop when you change position anyway.
And you'd leave Georgia roughly 90 yards away from your end zone and no timeouts.
And maybe 12 seconds left in the game. And that's why how big that last timeout was. It kept them from going for a field goal that they burned on that last 4th down play.
And of course, if they get the 1st down, it's academic. And it's Davis. And he got close to it, but I don't think so. And they stop the clock with 12 seconds left. And Hines Ward's already out on the field as Georgia's going to take over. And they might have 2 plays. What a game. And everybody in Auburn secondary, I'm sure, will be about 40 yards downfield, right, Gary?
Well, yeah. I don't know if you can do this. The only guys I saw that could do anything like this were the Minnesota Vikings.
They needed Ahmad Rashad and Tommy Kramer to do it, though. Well, Auburn, if nothing else, took 6 minutes and 5 seconds off the game clock. They didn't get any more points, but they probably don't need it. 3 wideouts for Georgia to the left and 1 to the right for Hines Ward. Going to air it up, hope for an interference. There's already a flag down and a catch caught by Matt Dixon. Penalty marker at the 40-yard line.
From where it was thrown, you would assume that Auburn had 12 men on the field. Or Georgia did. because it was thrown right at the snap. The problem for Georgia here is I don't think Hines Ward can throw it far enough.
Well, that's just it. Even if he takes a direct snap here, he's going to be about 60
Illegal participation. The defense
60 yards away from the end zone.
12 men on the field for Auburn.
Here's the final play of the game.
The Georgia player cannot just catch it. He has to catch it and run with it. Hines Ward doesn't have enough arm.
4 wide receivers. Clock will not start because of the flag. And so here's your final play of the ball game. Ward nailed as he throws. And it's intercepted by Auburn. And it's Martavius Houston. And Auburn will win it, survive it in Athens.
And Hines Ward took the final hit for the team that time from Mark Smith right in the face. And Terry Bowden's going to run right out to him and tell him congratulations. What a football game.
What a great game. And Georgia laid its guts on the line for their coach. Terry Bowden gets the win, 37-31. For Gary Danielson and Adrian Karsten, Brad Nessler saying so long from Athens. Let's head to Ron Franklin and Mike